Attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching, yes.
It's a sunny Sunday, and fans are ready for a doubleheader in the Bronx. Max Fried has been masterful since putting on the pinstripes. He gets the ball in Game 1 and will look to set the tone as Clark Schmidt follows him in Game 2. We've got a couple of American League East battles for you this afternoon as the Yankees host the Blue Jays at Yankee Stadium. Hey, everyone, and welcome to Yankees batting practice today, presented by Audi. I'm Chris Sheeran, getting you ready for a pair of games between the Bombers and the Blue Jays. And for the opener, the Yanks are putting their ace on the table. Max Fried will get the ball in Game 1, and the Yankees have won each of his first 5 starts this season. In addition, when he's pitched following a loss by the team, he's yet to allow a run over 14 2/3 innings of work. He hasn't given up many runs, period, as he carries the American League's 3rd-best ERA into this afternoon's game. And he's coming off that gem against the Tampa Bay Rays, where he made a bid for a no-hitter en route to his 4th victory of the season. That ERA stands at 1.42, which puts Fried on this list of pitchers to have 4 wins and a sub-1.5 ERA through their first 5 starts with the Yankees. Bob Turley, Tommy John, and most recently Phil Niekro, way back in 1984, are the other pitchers in that club. Fried has faced the Blue Jays 3 times in his career and has a .95 ERA against them. In the series opener against the Blue Jays, the Yankees took a 1-run lead into the 9th and turned things over to Devin Williams. 3 batters later, the Blue Jays had the lead, and the 2-time All-Star's ERA for the season had climbed over 11. That's led to a change in the closer spot, and Aaron Boone talked about that when he met the media earlier.
I have talked to Devin, so for right now, I'm going to take him out of that role. You know, as I said to him, it's like, you know, he's still got everything to be great, right? This is a guy that is in the prime of his career, and he's just, you know, going through it a little bit, and it happens. Like, as I tell you guys, I tell our players all the time, you make a career at this long enough, and you're going to face some challenging moments. You're going to face some adversity along the way, and the good news for Devin is he's got everything to get through this and come out better on the other side, and that's my expectation. But for right now, I think it's best for everyone that we pull him out of that role and just, you know, try and start building some good rhythm and confidence and momentum, and fully expect him to be a central figure for us moving forward.
So it will be Weaver? Or?
Well, yeah, I mean, likely, but not, you know, everyone. I mean, there may be days I still, you know, it's a big spot in the 7th and we're rested, and, you know, I go Weave and figure it out with someone else, but I would expect Weave to get a lot of it.
And then how did that conversation with Devin go? How did he kind of receive that news?
Good. I thought we had a really good conversation yesterday about it, and you know, he's ready to do whatever, and you know, I think, you know, as you go through these things as a player, even when you're really good at this, you know, it's a struggle. It's, you know, but I do believe at his core, he knows that he's going to get through this. It's just when you're going through it, it's a little challenging to find and trust that. So he'll get there, and we'll support him as best we can.
What do you think has been the difference for Aaron in terms of staying fresh this year from playing center field last year, playing right field this year? Do you think there's any difference on his legs or his workload in general?
I mean, it's April, so tough to say. I mean, I think he's done a really good job. I think that's the biggest area, and I've said this to you guys before, where Aaron's had tremendous growth over the last, you know, 3-4 years, is I think he's really learned how to really preserve himself day in and day out, how to play through things, Like, he's gotten really good at that. Like, you guys don't know all over the years, but there's times in the years where he's a little banged up, and in the past, might lead to an injury or he's better at managing that, and really good at knowing what he needs to do from a work standpoint each and every day to be ready, right? So sometimes that's working a lot, but it's not always going out on the field and doing, you learn that as you go, and he's done a really good job of that.
All right, some updates to the injury report brought to you by Montefiore Einstein, the official hospital of the New York Yankees. Reigning Rookie of the Year, Luis Heel. He began a throwing program today. DJ LeMahieu has 2 doubles and a homer through 3 rehab games with Somerset. And Jonathan Loaisiga went 3 up, 3 down Saturday in his first rehab outing with Single-A Tampa. Ben Rice, meanwhile, avoided injury a little over a week ago when he was hit by a pitch, and he continues to mash this season with a .282 average, 6 homers, and an OPS of .981. He doubled in the 9th inning last game, and the Blue Jays will send 2 right-handed starters to the mound today, and that's good news for Rice, who owns the best OPS in the American League against righties at just over 1,100. Rice will lead off in the opener, followed by Aaron Judge and his .408 batting average. Captain turned 33 years old yesterday, and among Yankees, only Mickey Mantle, Lou Gehrig, and Babe Ruth had more home runs before turning 33 years of age. Judge's on-base streak is up to 22 games, and he's been on base multiple times in 18 of those. Meanwhile, for the Blue Jays, Bo Bichette leads off, and Alejandro Kirk, who had that big 2-run double last game, bats 5th. But batting second, it's Vladimir Guerrero Jr. He homered in the series opener to add to his .620 career slugging percentage at Yankee Stadium. Only Aaron Judge has been better in the Bronx. Coming up next, we're going to talk more about Judge. It's Sundays with Kay. Michael Kay checks in with some thoughts on Devin Williams and the bullpen, as well as his first impressions of Max Fried and more. That's next on Yankees Batting Practice Today, presented by Audi here on Yes and streaming on the Gotham Sports app. Yankees Batting Practice Today is presented by Audi, the official luxury vehicle of the New York Yankees. Visit your tri-state Audi dealer today.
I think there's that adjustment. And again, anytime Devin's really been nothing but successful at the big league level. He's known pretty much, he's dominated. So that's all part of it. That's what I talk to these guys all the time about is again, you're going to go through a tough moment. When I came here in 2003 at the trade deadline, Mariano Rivera was getting booed in August. I couldn't believe it. And then, he still is Mariano Rivera, recoups and goes on to do what he does. So I'm sure there's some shock to that and getting settled. He's with a new team in a new environment. That's all part of it. But, and my reminder to him is you have all the equipment to do this at an elite level. And that's still the reality. So nobody likes, that, or I'm sure that's a interesting feeling to process. But again, that's what you do as a big leaguer. You got to deal with different external factors that, can leak in and have an effect on you. But I also think there's an area to have tremendous growth through this.
That was Aaron Boone with our Toyota quote of the day, and now we welcome in Michael Kay, and it's Sundays with Kay. And Michael, let's start with Devin Williams, who is still searching for answers. But as Aaron Boone just said, the ERA the past 3 seasons started with a 1. Eventually, you would think he's going to find it.
You would think so, but I think the Yankees had to do this because the Yankees are playing in a little bit of a different calculus than the Milwaukee Brewers. The Brewers, you could breathe a little bit. Every single game for the Yankees is like the end of the world for the fans and for the organization as well. You can't give away wins, and because of Devin and his struggles, he's given away a couple of wins over the last week. The 4-run lead that they had in Tampa, and then the 2-1 lead that they had on Friday night. Those are valuable wins when you're trying to win the American League League East and maybe get the best record in the American League. So I think this is something the Yankees felt they had to do, and they're fortunate because they have a big-time closer that's already on their staff that was closing for a team that went to the World Series last year. That's Luke Weaver. So I think the Yankees felt they had to make this move, and it's a little bit different than what happened in Milwaukee because he always struggled at the end of March and all of April in Milwaukee. And as you said, then after that he was under 2 with an ERA, but he was allowed to work his way through. He'll work his way through this right now, but probably in lower leverage situations in the 6th or 7th inning if the Yankees have a big lead or if they're trailing by a lot. It's going to be interesting to see how he does it.
Yeah, and as you said, Michael, it's great to have a guy like Luke Weaver on the team who's been through it already and did it last season. Now let's move on. You know, Aaron Judge, I was with you in the booth in that sweep against Kansas City on that Wednesday night, and you, David Cohn, and Paul O'Neill were talking about how every night you get to see a Hall of Famer, a legend, walk out onto the field. At age 33, Michael, where does he rank amongst the greats in baseball?
Well, when you look at the numbers, Chris, he ranks with the greats in baseball, which is saying a mouthful. And remember, he turned 33 yesterday, and usually that's starting the downside of a career. He seems to be getting better since he came up. First time we saw him was in 2016. We've watched this guy hit 52 home runs. We've watched him hit 62 home runs. We watched him hit 58 last year. Think about it, Chris. If he didn't injure his toe in Dodger Stadium a couple of years ago, he could be going for his 4th straight MVP. The way it is now, he's going for his 3rd in the last 4 years. It's amazing, and it's not just hyperbole to say that it's amazing that we're seeing stuff that we've never seen before. The numbers tell you that we're seeing stuff that only the greatest who ever played have done before. He now can be mentioned in the very same breath as what Barry Bonds was doing when he was in the prime of his career with the San Francisco Giants. It's amazing to watch him. Usually a guy who's a big home run hitter like Judge is, you know, they don't worry about batting average. You think about a Rob Deere, you think about a Dave Kingman. This is a complete ball player who's hitting over 300, who hit over 300 last year despite hitting 58 home runs. He's doing stuff that you just don't see very often. And on my radio show and even on our air here at Yes, I continually say, really soak this in because I don't think you see this very often.
Yeah, 100%. As you said, it's not just the eye test, which you see every day. It's the numbers that back that up as well. And talking about that, how about Max Fried? Michael, if there was a billboard that listed everything that Max Fried can bring to your rotation before he even stepped on the mound, you would see that everything was true after he's done what he's done so far here with the team.
I mean, the Yankees really are so fortunate that they signed him because if they had not signed him and Garrett Cole went down, they'd be in a lot worse shape. So he's 4-0, and the 5 starts that he's made, the Yankees are 5-0. And I've said this before, and I continue to believe this. There are great pitchers in the American League. Tarek Skubal, who won the Cy Young last year. I truly believe that if Max Fried gets through this year without injury, that he's going to win the Cy Young Award. He's so good at his craft. And I almost compare him, Chris, a little bit to Derek Jeter. When you look at Derek Jeter, Derek didn't do any one thing great. But when you put it all together, he was great. Max Fried, you look at his pitches, you know, he doesn't have that 99-mile-an-hour fastball. His curveball is elite, but when you put it all together, he's an absolutely great pitcher. That being said, he's everything the Yankees could have hoped. He's got a great demeanor. Seems like he's built for this. Seems like the spotlight doesn't make him fray at all. He's a big-time pitcher, and the Yankees are very, very fortunate to have him.
Now let's talk about the other starter today, Michael. That's Clark Schmidt. We saw him against Kansas City. He was okay, and then in his second start, kind of faltered a little bit. What is the next level for Schmidt? Because we've seen some really good things, and he has such an arsenal at his disposal.
Well, you see the numbers we have up on the screen right now since 2024, the start of that, a 3.32 ERA. In baseball now, that is a really outstanding pitcher. The only thing with Clark is there's got to be some consistency because the start that he turned in against the Guardians, it's not acceptable. He's better than that. His stuff is better than that. He's gritty. He's gutty. He wants the ball. I think the next step to me, Chris, is a guy you know is always going to give you 6+ innings. If he could pitch in the 7th, that makes him so valuable valuable because this bullpen really gets taxed a lot. The 3, 4, and 5 guys in the rotation don't give you that much length. So it seems like on an everyday basis, when one of those guys pitches, you're looking to get 12 or 15 outs out of the bullpen. You can't have that from one of your top starters. And I think Clark Schmidt has the stuff to be one of their top starters. So you look for him every single time out to give you at least 6 innings. I think that's the next step for him because the ERA tells you he's at the level right now that he's one of the better pitchers in the American League.
Michael, let's play 2. Thanks for the time. We appreciate it. Get that stretching in, and we look forward to the call of the game.
Thank you, Chris.
Time for another break on Yankees batting practice today, but when we come back, it's a belated birthday spotlight for Aaron Judge. We'll talk more about the captain and his historic start next. So stay with us right here on BPTV. Buzzing this season at 41,106 fans. The Yankees have their highest average attendance through their first 12 games since 2014, Derek Jeter's final season. The highest average attendance in the American League, and they've drawn at least 3 million fans in an MLB record 24 consecutive seasons without fan restrictions. Good to have you with us on Yankees batting practice today, presented by Audi. And no question, Aaron Judge puts people in the seats. 1 year ago today, he homered against the Brewers, officially blasting away that slow start to his season. Since then, name any offensive stat, and there's a good chance he leads the majors in it. He is quite simply the MVP.
Yeah, the game's best player, an amazing leader, amazing person, and our captain.
High fly ball, left field. See ya! A grand slam for Aaron Judge, and the Yankees are pouring it on.
Oh, Aaron Judge, he is so much fun, and you put him in big situations, and one swing of the bat, you go away on 4 runs.
He's never satisfied. He's always reaching higher. He's always trying to climb higher up the mountain.
Ground ball and through for a base hit. Grisham will round third. He'll score. It's an RBI single for Judge.
Captain comes through again. Not a 3-run home run, just a hard hit base hit right back up the middle.
It's the Judge. Swung on, high fly ball.
Deep center field. Goodbye!
3 home runs for Aaron Judge.
Kind of leaves you speechless. 3 home run game. Salute to you, Aaron Judge. What a day.
Aaron Judge is, one of the best players in the game. Carries himself well on and off the field.
Driven deep to left field. He's done it again. See ya.
Esa se va, y se fue!
Can't keep him in the park.
You just cannot take this for granted. What you are watching, if you're a Yankee fan tuning in or coming to the ballpark, you're seeing one of the better hitters to ever step foot in the Bronx. This guy is absolutely amazing.
Judge is the best. I mean, he's the example. Here's a guy, I don't care, I give him all the credit in the world, and I know he hates credit because he's such a team guy. He doesn't like to be talked about in that fashion. But you know what? You can't help but talk about it. He's never changed. He's been the same since day one.
That one is looped into right field. That is in a dunk in for a base hit. Dominguez scores. Cabrera scores. Moving to third is Rice. It's a 2-run single for Judge.
Time in and time out again, this guy finds a way to get it done.
Yeah, I just try to push myself to be the best, and especially playing here in New York, playing in front of these fans, they deserve the best. A lot of people out there work their butt off on a daily basis. They get a chance to come out and watch us play, even if it's just 1 game a year. I got to give them my all and give them everything I got.
See ya! A home run for Judge gives the Yankees a 4-3 lead.
Just another moonshot. All he needed was a little launch angle. That's how you do it right there.
The Yankee way to me, it means a lot of different things, but I think it's really just about giving your all.
And how about that? Judge is 4 for 4. And another base hit. 6 for his last 6.
I go back and look at a lot of the past players that have worn this jersey before me, and you can walk around the whole stadium and you see pictures of some of the old legends that played this game. And this uniform, this pinstripe, it's dirty, it's beat up. It's they went out there and gave it their all. They were diving for every play. They were playing aggressive. They were playing smart. So for me, the Yankee way is just about just a disciplined approach at your craft. Just being the best you can, giving it your all every single day. It's pretty simple. Just be prepared, be disciplined, and go out there and give it your best.
And Judge is our key to the game, brought to you by our local Kia dealers. And since 2017, he leads the majors in home runs, slugging percentage, OPS, and wins above replacement. Over that span, he's won 2 MVP awards and has another runner-up finish, and was also the AL Rookie of the Year in 2017. Among Yankees, only Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig have a better career OPS than Judge. Let's take one last break here on Yankees batting practice today, presented by Audi. We'll be back to wrap things up ahead of this twin bill in the Bronx. Stick around on Yes and streaming on the Gotham Sports app. Quick look at some impressive pitching for AAA. Alan Wynan struck out 10 of the 14 batters he faced. In High A, a couple of top prospects piled up the Ks, 12 for Elmer Rodriguez-Cruz and 8 for Bryce Cunningham. And at Double-A, reigning Yankees minor league pitcher of the year, Cam Schlittler, fanned 9 and 7 scoreless innings. Some other things to watch out for this afternoon. The Blue Jays have scored the 4th fewest runs in the majors this year, but offense isn't a problem for Aaron Judge, who has good numbers and a long history against Gossman. The Bombers are 11-4 and when scoring first, and the odds of sweeping versus splitting a doubleheader nearly 50-50. That'll do it for us here on Yankees batting practice today, presented by Audi. Coming up next, it's Bob Lorenz and Jack Curry on the pregame show with Meredith Marakovich checking in from the stadium. Enjoy the rest of the day here on Yes.
They are ready for a supersized Sunday of baseball in the Boogie Down as the New York Yankees host the division rival Toronto Blue Jays for a doubleheader at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. And we have got a couple of quality pitching matchups on tap for this afternoon's twin bill. In Game 1, it'll be Kevin Gausman for the Blue Jays against Max Fried for the Yankees, who will look to continue his spectacular start. And then Chris Bassitt goes for Toronto in Game 2, while Clark Schmidt makes his 3rd start of the season for the Yanks. Hope you're having a great day. Welcome to the FanDuel Yankees pregame. Bob Lorenz and Jack Curry with you. So it's a straight doubleheader today. A lot of baseball coming your way on Yes and the Gotham Sports app, and a chance to bounce back from Friday, win a couple ball games today. Let's get your Hyundai opening comment.
Bob, the last time the Yankees walked off the field at Yankee Stadium, it was not a positive feeling because, as you mentioned, they lost that game and blew a lead in the 9th inning on Friday. So what's your positive vibration when you know you have 2 games on a Sunday? For Aaron Boone, it's staring out at the mound and knowing that Max Fried has the baseball in his hand. He has almost been flawless for the Yankees so far as a pitcher. They're 5-0 in his starts. He flirted with a no-hitter in his last start. And, Bob, the word that gets mentioned often about Fried is pitchability, a word I can say, I promise. He knows what pitches to throw. He knows when to throw them. He reads batters' swings. He is a total pro out there.
We'll talk more pitchability later. Right now, let's get it out to the stadium. Meredith Marakovich standing by with the Clubhouse Report, presented by your local Ford stores. And Meredith, let's rewind to the first game Friday, and Devin Williams not able to close things out, the blown save in that one, and he took the loss. The Yankees had some decisions to make what to do about the closer spot. What's the latest on that?
Well, Bob, after that game, I spoke to Aaron Boone, and he said they were going to evaluate everything and do what's best for the New York Yankees and what they believe is best for Devin Williams. When I spoke to him earlier today, I asked him if he had had a conversation with Devin Williams and whether or not they made a decision on who would be the closer for the New York Yankees moving forward.
I have talked to Devin, so for right now, I'm going to take him out of that role. You know, as I said to him, it's like, you know, he's still got everything to be great, right? This is a guy that is in the prime of his career, and he's just, you know, going through it a little bit, and it happens. Like, as I tell you guys, I tell our players all the time, you make a career at this long enough, and you're going to face some challenging moments. You're going to face some adversity along the way. And the good news for Devin is he's got everything to get through this and come out better on the other side. And that's my expectation. But for right now, I think it's best for everyone that we pull him out of that role and just, try and start building some good rhythm and confidence and momentum and fully expect him to be a central figure for us moving forward.
So it will be Weaver? Or?
Well, yeah, likely, but not, everyone. There may be days I still, it's a big spot in the 7th and we're rested and, I go Weave and figure it out with someone else, but I would expect Weave to get a lot of it.
And then how did that conversation with Devin go? How did he kind of receive that news?
Good. I thought we had a really good conversation yesterday about it, and he's ready to do whatever, and I think as you go through these things as a player, even when you're really good at this, it's a struggle. It's but I do believe at his core, he knows that he's going to get through this. It's just when you're going through it, it's a little challenging to find and trust that. So he'll get there, and we'll support him as best we can.
And I spoke to Devin Williams in the clubhouse after he blew that save on Friday night, and he said simply, nothing is working for me right now. He wishes he had an answer, but right now he just doesn't know. And when you look at the numbers, he has not looked right on the mound. He hasn't had that great command that we've seen him have with the Brewers. Opposing teams hitting .462 against his four-seamer and .273 against that airbender changeup. The Yankees believe they can get him right. They're going to give him some lower leverage situations to try to build up his confidence and get him right on the mound. So it'll likely be Luke Weaver, as you heard Aaron Boone say, get the majority of the reps in that closer spot. And Weaver has been outstanding to start the season. 2 for 2 in save opportunities. He has not allowed a run in 13 innings pitched. The Yankees bullpen in good shape today with yesterday's off day. As far as Max Fried is concerned, Jack, you said it, he's done everything so far for the New York Yankees, filling in for Garrett Cole as their ace. He's almost like the ultimate security blanket. He's a stopper. He's been giving them innings, and he's been coming off a performance where he went 7 2/3 scoreless against the Tampa Bay Rays. He has 4 wins on this season, and his 1.42 ERA is 3rd best in the American League. I had the opportunity to catch up with him Friday night for BP All Access, where I asked him about what he thinks has been working for him on the mound to start the season.
I'm just really able to mix it up. I'm working really well with Austin, really well with JC. I've had some really big defensive plays behind me, and just being able to trust those guys, creating weak contact and getting us in the dugout as quick as possible. But for me, it's just I've been comfortable, I've been confident, and just really excited to get out there every 5th, 6th day.
You mentioned defensive plays. You've made some of them as well. Chandler Simpson in Tampa, they call him the fastest man in baseball. That was called up. You got him running to first. 3-time Gold Glove winner. What makes you such a good fielder? How are you able to become such a good fielder on the mound?
I would probably credit it a lot to just me playing a position growing up. I was very much an outfielder, first baseman, and then would pitch as well. And then so just being able to be a baseball player, fielding my position, fielding ground balls, being able to just kind of make those throws. It's something that I really prided myself on early in my baseball career, and just tried to make sure that it was an important part.
And I asked Max Fried what he likes about pitching here in the Bronx. He did not hesitate. He said the energy of the fans here, he absolutely loves it. The Yankees are hoping for more of the same from Max Fried this afternoon. We know he'll get the ball in Game 1, and then it's going to be Clark Schmidt getting the ball in Game 2. And guys, we are going to keep it with starting pitching. This was a sight for sore eyes earlier today. Luis Gil out in the outfield beginning his throwing program right there. He's got the purple glove. Just played
catch, but it is a significant step, guys. This is the first time he's picking up a ball since he was diagnosed with a high-grade lat strain. I saw him come into the clubhouse with that glove and a huge smile on his face, asked him how it went, and he said just good to be back out there. Now, there's going to be a lot more steps that Luis Gil is going to have to go through. He's essentially going to need a spring training-like build-up, but man, what a key piece that would be when the Yankees eventually get Luis Gil back. So something to keep an eye on there. Also noteworthy, DJ LeMahieu is continuing his rehab process with the AAA Rail Riders, and Jonathan Loaizaga has been throwing in the minors as well. He is an arm that the Yankees are expecting back in the near future. Another big piece for that bullpen coming back. Jake Cousins continues to throw from the mound. He's going to have live sessions next week, and then he expects to go on a rehab assignment. So, guys, a lot of good news on the injury front. And one thing to keep an eye on this afternoon for these two games, it has been a crazy swirling wind here at the stadium. Could make it interesting for some of the outfielders throughout the course of these two games.
Something for us to keep an eye on. Thank you, Meredith. Have a great day. We'll see you with Michael and Paul in just a bit. Jack, I just wanted to get your take on Devin Williams, at least for the time being moved out of the closer's role.
Bob, we foreshadowed this on our postgame Friday night. We said that Aaron Boone and the decision makers with the Yankees were most likely going to have to move Williams out of that role. That's what happened today. So if you're Devin Williams, you take this time out, and it's your job to win your job back. He's not the first closer to lose his job. He's not the first closer to ever be booed. As Boone pointed out during his pregame press conference, even the great Mariano Rivera has been booed at Yankee Stadium. But I dug into the numbers a little bit, and here's something that's interesting. Williams is getting better horizontal break on his changeup this year than he did last year. The vertical break is a little bit worse than it was last year. What does that tell you? The changeup is still moving. He's missing his location with it. He's not getting it to the spots that he needs to get it to. Bob, he needs some low leverage spots to enable him to get that command and that location back. And as I said, force his way back into being the guy Boone calls upon when he wants to get a save.
All right, we'll talk more pitching coming up. Want to remind you, though, the Gotham Sports app is your new home for streaming live Yankees games and so much more. And it's free with an eligible TV provider subscription. Download the Gotham Sports app now or visit gothamsports.com to get streaming. Well, time for our first break here on the FanDuel Yankees pregame. When we come back, we'll talk about what to expect from the Bombers offense in Game 1. Rice, Judge, Bellinger, Goldschmidt. It's all next on Yes and the Gotham Sports app.
The Yankees pregame show on Yes is presented by FanDuel. New customers get $250 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. Is brought to you in part by Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com.
It's time for the pregame odds segment presented by FanDuel. And it's Game 1 of a Sunday twin bill in the Bronx between the Yanks and the Jays. For a same-game parlay, let's go with Aaron Judge to homer, Paul Goldschmidt to knock at least 2 hits, and Max Fried to strike out 4 or more. That parlay comes in at plus 1047. Right now, new customers get $250 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins.
All season long here on Yes, we want to invite you viewers to show us the different ways you support the Bronx Bombers. Use the QR code on screen with a hashtag Toyota Pinstripe Pride and post pictures to social media that reflect your love for the Yankees. We might spotlight you in a future game. Pinstripe Pride is brought to you by Toyota, the official hybrid vehicles of the Yankees. Let's take a look at the Yankees starting lineup, brought to you by Toyota as well. Aaron Judge, 33rd birthday yesterday. He's only the 4th Yankee in history with 322 homers before his 33rd birthday. Bellinger, Wells, Cabrera, each with a couple hits in the opener. As the Yanks in that game, Jack, went 1 for 9 with the runners in scoring position. They left 11 on base, so they had a lot of traffic in that game.
And the batter that I'm looking at today in terms of trying to increase traffic on the bases and get his swing to where he wants it to be, Bob, is Bellinger. He's 5 for 19. It's not the greatest hitting streak in the world, but he had been slumping before that. And I look at this matchup against Gausman. Even though he's 2 for 15 against Gausman, He's faced him. There's familiarity there. I expect Bellinger to be aggressive because Gausman's best pitch is his splitter. You don't want him to get into splitter counts. This year, batters 135 against that pitch.
Mentioned that it was Aaron Judge's 33rd birthday yesterday, and we take a look at some more of his accomplishments at this point in his career, Jack. Already a two-time MVP, got the leg up on a third this year, a six-time All-Star. He was the Rookie of the Year, the 322 career home runs, 7th in Yankees history. And right now, he is just, as you have said, on a very strong Hall of Fame arc.
Yeah, it's Hall of Fame trajectory. It's an iconic career. It's a legendary career. And when we do this for a living, we always want to be careful about comparisons. Remember when a player gets drafted and suddenly everyone is comparing that person to Mickey Mantle or Bo Jackson, and then you see the player and maybe the player didn't live up to that hype. Aaron Judge deserves to be compared with all of the greats. The numbers are telling you that he belongs there. And then if you even think about the way the game has become more specialized and the things that Judge has to face, Bob, that previous hitters didn't have to face, it just amplifies even more how great a hitter he is.
No doubt about that. Keep an eye on his at-bats today. In the meantime, let's take a look at the Blue Jays starting lineup that will face Max Fried, brought to you by Toyota. Vladimir Guerrero Jr., his .620 slug at Yankee Stadium is the second highest in the majors, behind only Aaron Judge. And then Alejandro Kirk, 2 hits in the opener. He had 2 runs batted in as well. Max Fried has started 5 games this season, and the Yankees have won all 5 of them. Coming up next on the FanDuel Yankees pregame, we'll talk about what's been behind the Southpaw's success, so stick around.
The Yankees pregame show on Yes is brought to you in part by Cadillac. Spring is the season for new beginnings, and it's the best time to get behind the wheel of a sophisticated new Cadillac SUV. Visit your tri-state Cadillac dealer today. Pregame show on Yes is brought to you in part by your local Hyundai dealers. There's never been a better time to test drive that Hyundai you've always wanted. Visit HyundaiUSA.com today.
I'm News 12 meteorologist Alex Calamia with your game day forecast. We're looking at a breezy game, peaks of sunshine, definitely seeing more clouds for the first half of the game as the players and the fans are heading home. Temperatures are still holding steady at 60 and we have those lighter breezes. So a comfortable game overall aside from that breeze, a much better finish to the day. And make sure that you watch News 12 for all of your hyperlocal New York headlines. Plenty of ways you can see us.
Thank you, Alex. StatCast 3D, presented by Google Cloud, takes a look at Max Fried's pitch breakdown between 2024 and what we've seen so far this year. And, Jack, the four-seam usage is up. The sinkers actually jumped the curveball for his #2 offering, and he's also throwing his sweeper more. What do you make of that?
Very interesting to me. That just shows he's had more confidence in throwing his four-seamer and his sinker. I think the curveball is a pitch that's a field pitch. I think it will come along more as the season gets warmer. But everything about him is something that you like. And if you're going to throw your four-seamer like that, keep throwing it. Now, Bob, this play right here, I would say 1 out of every 10 left-handed pitchers make that play. And I'm probably being generous with that. This play, I'm going to say 1 out of every 20 left-handed pitchers make that play. And maybe I'm being generous with that as well. And if you look at everything that he does, I talked to Andy Pettit on my podcast the other day about pickoffs. He said it's athleticism, it's instincts. He said Fried has that. And when you have a curveball like that, you're going to use it more often, trust me. Even if he hasn't used it a lot this year, he will use it more often. There's the first hit of the game, which was originally called an error. He had 5 1/3 hitless innings against the Rays. The Yankees were thrilled with that outing, despite the fact that there was some controversy attached to it.
Yeah, when you watch his delivery, there's something so deliberate yet calm about it, and that's kind of what he gives them at every start, and especially after a loss like Friday.
I'm going to go back to the interview with Pettit. Now, we were talking about pickoffs, and he talked about how Fried has the ability to sort of pause his body and move slowly when he's thinking about picking a guy off. But to your point, Bob, I feel like he has that ability on every pitch. And what is pitching? It's deceiving the hitter. It's disrupting their timing. So in addition to all of those offerings, I feel the way that Fried delivers the ball is part of that deception.
And what is being an ace? Win the games that the ace pitches, and they've won all 5 of his starts.
They've won all 5 of his starts. He's been terrific. We've given the numbers. He has already proven that he is a stopper. It's really, really early, Bob. We're not even to May, but you start peeking ahead and thinking about all-star game status. And Max Fried looks like somebody who is probably going to represent the Yankees in the All-Star game if he keeps pitching like this.
And no doubt about that. Now, they face Kevin Gausman, the Yankees do today. And Gausman is making his 30th start against the Yankees. Pretty good numbers, a sub-4 ERA against him. What do you make of this start against a guy they're very familiar with?
Three-pitch pitcher. We talked about the splitter. He'll also throw a four-seamer and a slider. We know that Judge has faced him a lot. Paul Goldschmidt, in a smaller sample size, has really good numbers against him. Goldschmidt is 7 for 12 with a home run, but I definitely want to keep an eye on that matchup between Gausman and Judge.
Yeah, well, not only keep an eye on that, but there are a couple other hitters besides Judge and Goldschmidt where you see they have great at-bats against Gausman. Austin Wells has a double and 12 at-bats, and then Anthony Volpe against Gausman. Got to get it going. 10 strikeouts and 17 at-bats. One last break on the FanDuel Yankees pregame. We'll close things out with some thoughts on the bullpen, and we'll also get Jack's key to the game. So stay with us on Yes and the Gotham Sports app.
Yankees pregame show on Yes is brought to you in part by your local tri-state Genesis retailers. Learn more at genesis.com.
Well, Yankees fans have been visiting the Bronx in big numbers this season. At 41,106 fans, the Bombers have their highest average attendance through their first 12 home games since 2014. It's the highest average attendance in the American League, and it's top 4 in Major League Baseball overall. Well, they're going to see a couple ball games in the Bronx today where the Yankees bullpen comes in 9th in the majors in combined ERA, but actually much better excluding Devin Williams, who's been moved out of the closer's role temporarily. He's allowed 10 earned runs in 8 innings. Otherwise, it is a 2.63 ERA. And after an off day, bullpen setting up pretty well for 2 games today.
Luke Weaver, come on down. He ascends to the closer position, a position he had last season when he replaced Clay Holmes. I think that's his job until further notice, Bob. But if perhaps the Yankees use him in a couple of days in a row and have to go to another option, keep your eye on Cruz. That splitter that he throws is befuddling. He absolutely gets terrible swings from batters. I think Boone would be comfortable closing with him. And Boone has already shown that he's comfortable going to Leiter Jr., who has had to replace Devin Williams after a couple of Williams' meltdowns.
Unless something goes sideways, you expect length out of Max Fried today, too, coming off 7 2/3 in that win against Tampa Bay. Let's get your key to the game.
The key to the game does revolve around Max Fried. It's mighty Max on the mound. Now, if Aaron Boone was sitting at a blackjack table, Bob, what would he be looking for? He'd be looking for 21. Well, I think that's what he's looking for out of Weaver today, as in 21 outs. And why do I think that can happen? First of all, and not out of Weaver, out of Fried. First of all, look at what Fried has done after the Yankees' last 2 losses. 14 2/3 scoreless innings. That's the definition of a stopper. Your team isn't feeling great about itself. Your team has struggled. You hand the ball to your #1 guy. Yep. That's what they're doing in Game 1.
And when you got to play 2 games on the same day, you want that first guy to give you length. You want balance, Jack. That's what you want. You just want him to find his zen place in the Bronx at Yankee Stadium on the mound and 41,000 strong. Thanks for joining us on the pregame. After a break, we get you out to the stadium. Michael K. Paul O'Neill with a call. Meredith Morakovitz reporting. Jack and I will see you on the Bridge Show between games. Have a great day and enjoy the ball game.
You're watching Yes.
I have talked to Devin, so for right now, I'm going to take him out of that role. You know, as I said to him, he's still got everything to be great. This is a guy that is in the prime of his career. He's just, going through it a little bit. You make a career at this long enough, you're going to face some challenging moments. You're going to face some adversity along the way. The good news for Devin is he's got everything to get through this and come out better on the other side, and that's my expectation. But for right now, I think it's best for everyone that we pull him out of that role and just try and start building some good rhythm and confidence and momentum, and fully expect him to be a central figure for us moving forward.
such a beautiful day in the Bronx, why don't we play too? And it is time for baseball as the Yes Network presents the Hyundai Sunday Game of the Week. Game 1, Blue Jays against the Yankees. That's the second game of this three-game set from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, New York. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Yankees Baseball, along with Paul O'Neill. I'm Michael Kay. Yesterday was a rainout, but before Game 1 today, Aaron Boone, you just heard, said that Devin Williams has been relieved of his closer role for the time being. The numbers tell you why. 11.25 ERA. That's 10 earned runs in 8 innings pitched. He's allowed runs in 5 of 10 appearances and 3 or more earned runs in the last 2 games. Paul, obviously they have a good candidate to replace him in Luke Weaver. Also, wins are so important for the New York Yankees. Even in April, I guess they thought they could not afford to have him work it out as a closer.
Well, he has struggled. There's no doubt about it. And, you know, every time you see a big-name player come to New York, is there an adjustment period? You hope that's all this is. I mean, Devin Williams, obviously, in his career, has phenomenal numbers, but what a luxury to have Luke Weaver.
All right, let's take a look at the starters for Game 1. The Home Depot getting it done pitching matchup. Kevin Gausman's gotten off to a very good start. Max Fried's been even better. The Yankees, really, they sit back and they go, this is way better than we could have hoped for.
Well, he was your number 2 starter. Then all of a sudden, yeah, Garrett Cole goes down, and he is a true ace. I mean, he has been a winner his whole career. Using his fastball a little bit more this year, but you know what? He's not winning by run support, by anything other than going out and pitching well. 1.42 ERA, a no-hitter all the way. I thought it was 7, but ended up being 5 last outing. He has been phenomenal for the Yankees.
5 starts for the Yankees. They're 5-0. One of 3 pitchers in the majors to have that happen. He's 4-0 with a 1.42, and he's tied for first in the American League in wins with the Red Sox Walker Buehler and the Tigers Casey Mize. So how is Fried doing it? He has just been otherworldly on the mound. Meredith Marakovich talks to the left-hander next when we return on the Yankee Entertainment and Sports Network.
Baseball on Yes. Game 1 of the doubleheader between the Yankees and the Blue Jays is set to get underway in just a few minutes. Hey, everyone. I'm Meredith Marakovich. As Michael mentioned, Max Fried is going to get the ball in Game 1 today. He has been outstanding for the Yankees to start the season. I had the pleasure of catching up with Fried on BP All Access, where he spoke about his start to the year.
I'm just really able to mix it up. I'm working really well with Austin, really well with JC. You know, I've had some really big defensive plays behind me, and you know, just being able to trust those guys, creating weak contact, and getting us in the dugout as quick as possible. But for me, it's just I've been comfortable, I've been confident, and you know, just really excited to get out there every 5th, 6th day.
The Yankees are hoping for more of the same from Fried this afternoon. He will get the ball next right here on Yes after the break.
The Yankees Baseball on Towers. Donate $11 a month to Tunnel to Towers at T2T.org. By your local Tri-State Genesis retailers. Learn more at Genesis.com. By Montefiore Einstein, the official hospital of the New York Yankees. And by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Well, the Yankees have taken the field. Max Fried taking his warm-ups. Bo Bichette getting ready. Why don't we take a look at the Blue Jays starting lineup. Bichette, Guerrero, and Santander at the top. In the middle, it's Springer, Kirk, and Jimenez. The bottom third of the order, Clement, Clase, and Straw, with the starting pitcher, Kevin Gausman, 10-9 record in his career against the Yankees. How about this record in 5 starts, 4-0, 1.42 for Fried. Let's check out the Nissan pitcher scouting report.
Well, no, Michael. We got a lot of no's up there, but last time out, it was a complete game no-hitter, no. But 7 2/3 shutout innings. He was terrific. Everything you want after Cole injury. I mean, you were looking for the ace. He is your true ace. 1.42 ERA, which is 3rd in the American League. They've won all 5 of his starts. And I can't do it, Michael. I'm going to get back to the good medicine. Go.
Bichette's ready, Fried's ready. Let's do it. Here in the Bronx, first pitch way inside. Please go on, Paul.
All right, it's good medicine, not bad medicine like Bon Jovi used to talk about, but good medicine. After a tough loss on Friday, you love to see Max Fried out on the mound here for Game 1.
How about this stat, though? In 2 games that he's started after a Yankee loss, he's thrown 14 2/3 shutout innings. Pretty amazing. That's the stopper. That's what an ace does.
Well, it's not like he just found something. I mean, if you look at his career numbers, I mean, he is so good.
Yeah. One and one on Bichette. Grounded third base, backhanded by Cabrera. The long throw, it's high over the head of Goldschmidt, and that allows Bichette to reach.
Well, Cabrera makes a good stab. Ball hit hard down the line. He makes a good stab to come up with it. He plants, and you can tell right at the release, it's just airmailed. No chance for Goldschmidt. Bichette is going to be credited with a base hit, and then you'll get an error to get him to second base.
We've seen Cabrera with a couple of bad throws in the last week or so. The glove is solid, but sometimes erratic with the throw. So it is a single and an E5, allowing Bichette to go to second.
You hold your breath every time that Vladdy steps to the plate here in Yankee Stadium. 15 career home runs in the stadium. He just loves to hit here. He's talked about it.
15 home runs in 43 games, and he has 20 home runs since 2020 against the Yankees. That's in 73 games. And that one gets away from Wells, allowing Bichette to go to third.
Just a breaking ball, just kind of thrown in the dirt, kind of ricochets away. No matter way you want to start the game, you got a possible out there. Next thing you know, you've got nobody out, man on third base.
Blue Jays 13 and 13. Yankees in first place in the East at 15 and 11. 2 and 1. Chop slowly to third. Bichette will score. Guerrero gets himself a ribby, and it's 1-0 Blue Jays. Let me give you the Yankee defense. We've seen Cabrera at third, Volpe's at short, Chisholm at second, and Goldschmidt's at first. Austin Wells behind the plate in the outfield. Left to right, Dominguez, Bellinger, and Judge.
Well, possible play at the plate, but at this point in the game, you know, you take the sure out. Don't make another mistake if you're Cabrera. Now Max Fried can try to cruise through the rest of this first inning.
One 1-0 on Santander. Home plate umpire is Chris Conroy. Let's take a look at what he's about. He's considered pitcher friendly. More outside strikes on righty batters and more inside strikes on lefty batters. He's the crew chief in his 16th big league season.
Umpires have long careers. We can always say 15, 16, 21 years. Players don't have that luxury, right?
Well, you're having a longer career as an announcer than you did as a player.
You know, I'm looking back, and it's been longer up here than it was down there.
Amazing. And there's a walk to Santander. All right, Paul, time to go to work. The keys to the game brought to you by your local Kia dealers.
Well, you got to stay away or be careful. One of the two. Even though the Jays and Vlad are struggling, his career numbers are really good. 21 home runs, 15 here at Yankee Stadium. Another one on Friday night, and it's possible. This really surprises me, Michael. History says it's almost 50% chance of sweeping a doubleheader or splitting it. So, you know, it could be a great day for the Yankees. Have to wait and see what happens. But Cool Hand Luke named today as the Yankee closer for now after the Williams struggles.
I'll tell you what, though, that sweep stat always gets me because you just figure everybody splits doubleheaders.
Yeah.
It's not the case. You sweep more than you split.
Can't sweep this, win game one. Anybody ever tell you that?
Yes, I've heard that.
Just checking.
1-1 on Springer. Springer off to a good start, but of late, kind of evening out a little bit. 6 for 31. That's 194 in his last 10 games. Down to one knee, 1-2.
Audrey's furious with me. I just missed a bunny in the trash can here. Just airballed it. Huh?
Now she's got to pick it up, though.
Yeah. She's exhausted. We're in the top of the first.
Santander leads off first. It's 1-0 Blue Jays. You think about how that first run was scored. Infield single, overthrow moves him to second. Then a wild pitch moves him to third. Then a soft ground ball to third scores the run. So not a lot of exit velocity so far, but there's a run on the board. Shallow right coming on Judge. 2 outs. Game time weather presented by Bigelow, the official hot tea of the Yankees. 56 degrees. It feels a little bit colder. Chance of rain. This is a very official term. Teensy. Teensy, Paul.
What, give me a definition. What's teensy?
A little bit.
Just a little bit?
Little itty bit.
A little something, something?
A little something, something. The wind is gusty. So I got here around 10:15 maybe, and the place is empty, and the wind is blowing so hard you could hear the flags crackling in the wind. And right now, if you look at them, they're really blowing out
they're
toward left field.
I tell you, I went to the weight room this morning. I walked outside. I'm like, really? I mean, from last night to this morning, it dropped temperature-wise. Winds howling.
Oh, 2 on Kirk.
Well, Kirk had the big 2-run double on Friday night, and he has career-wise done pretty well against the Yankees. Brought up as a hitter, and he's become a very good defensive catcher for the Blue Jays.
That's punched out into right field, a base hit for Kirk. Santander moves to second, so they are making Fried work here in the first.
He has doubled the other night to right center today. A little changeup, kind of stays up, but he stays through it right off the end of the bat, but enough of it to shoot it into right field. And I can remember Kirk ever since he came up. He had the ability to hit the ball the other way. You really got to keep him honest in and out pitching.
Here is Andres Jimenez with Kirk on first and Santander at second. 1-0. Jacob Metz, the first base umpire, and Jeremy Rehack at second, and John Tumpain is over at third. First of 2 here at the stadium, a straight doubleheader after yesterday's rain out.
Tumpain, that's Goldilocks to you, right? You're enamored by his hair. Could you imagine?
Hair,
I'm sure he got.
I mean, the word that comes to mind is lustrous.
I'm sure he got calls from people like, well, do you know they're talking about your hair when you're umpiring a baseball?
You know what? When you have hair like that, you know. You don't need to hear about it. It's obscured now by the cap, but rest assured, there's a lot of hair under that. This is a strike. And this is what we're talking about. Look at that. See, I'm jealous because I'm losing to the power alleys. Look at his power alleys.
That's right. It's falling off, sticking to your ears or something like that. Power alleys. I never heard that one.
And he walks Jimenez to load the bases. What a rally by the Blue Jays. And now Matt Blake's going to come out just to give him a little bit of a blow. He's at 25 pitches in the first inning.
Yeah, and this is, remember, we talked about it, really stressed on it on Friday night. The Toronto Blue Jays this year have been horrible offensively. Coming into the series, 25th in the major leagues, only at 3.5 runs a game. Manager, I've talked to him on the field Friday. I said, "You going to start scoring some runs?" He's like, just shook his head. He said, I certainly hope so. Make my job a lot easier. Their 14th home run. Only Kansas City has 12, so they're 29th in all of baseball in home runs.
Well, Blake's done with his words of wisdom, and here's Ernie Clement with the bases loaded. Bases loaded, 1 run in, not one hard hit ball. And a strike. Goes with the 4-seamer.
You know, you hate to bring it up about an early game in April, or you know, this is such a big out here on the top of the first. Michael, this is a big out.
This is huge.
I mean, you've got bases loaded here with a team offensively struggling. You just do not want to dig yourself a hole here.
Looks like he got out of it. Judge will make the play, and that'll do it. 1 run, 2 hits, 1 error, and 3 men left. Yankees coming to bat.
From the Bronx, and here's today's Yankee starting lineup. Batting first, DH, Ben Rice. Batting second, right field, Aaron Judge. Batting third, playing center field, Cody Bellinger. Batting fourth, playing first base, Paul Goldschmidt. Batting fifth, playing second, Jazz Chisholm Jr. Batting sixth, playing shortstop, Anthony Volpe. Batting seventh, playing catcher, Austin Rose. Batting eighth, playing left field, Jason Dominguez.
Batting ninth, playing third base, Orlando Cabrera. Pitching, Max Green.
Let's go!
Hey, what a really good job.
You know what? They doubled up at the end. They're expecting big things from the bottom of the order.
Oh, the kids from the Bronx, of course, they're confident. Love it. Good job, guys. Aaron Judge turned 33 yesterday. Happy birthday to him. Belatedly, Kevin Gausman's on the mound. This will be his 6th start. You see his numbers. Let's check out the Nissan pitcher scouting report.
Well, no stranger. I mean, this will be his 30th career start against the Yankees, the most by any pitcher since 2014. And split, yeah, it is a split finger. He's been known for it this year. Hitters only hitting 135 against it, and hit or miss. Aaron Judge has 6 career home runs off Gausman, most of any pitcher, but Gausman has struck him out 17 times, most by any pitcher.
Ben Rice is going to lead off. 1-0 Blue Jays.
A little tardy on the
I've got to bring people into the booth, okay? So I give the numbers of the pitcher, and then I read the Nissan pitcher scouting report. And Paul, it's like he's like an uninterested tourist. He's like out on the field, and like I had to hit him on the shoulder each time.
I thought you had the scouting report today. I'm off to a bad start.
And then because I'm laughing to the side, he sees me laughing, he starts laughing. So that's what went on there, if you were wondering. He was ready for baseball. He leaned in.
Well, you figure after 30 starts, we know enough about this guy, right? We don't need a scouting report.
Rice goes down on strikes, and here's Paul.
Locked in. Hey, where are they?
Wow.
Hey, you know what? We got 2 of these today, too. You know that?
Yep. Here's Aaron Judge. Judge still over 400 at 408. So today is April 27th, and that's when it kicked in last year. He really struggled end of March, most of April, and April 27th is when it kicked in. So since that time, it's 157 games. He's hit 61 home runs, and his batting average is .363, with his on-base percentage .491. No one has ever hit 61 home runs in a year with a .330 batting average, let alone .363. So he's doing stuff that's never been done.
Yeah, I saw a stat today. Was OPS was Ruth and Garrick. I mean, folks, we're not trying to blow this out of proportion. No. But you're seeing one of the better players to ever play the game.
And in that 157 game string, his WAR is 13.6. The only player ever to have a higher WAR over a full season, Babe Ruth, 14.7 in 1923 and 13.7 in 1921. So that's not two people in a booth bloviating about a player. Those are numbers that are telling you a story. So from 3-0 goes to 3-2.
I think Aaron Judge was actually surprised that Gausman came after him 3-0 and 3-1 with fastballs right there.
Strike three. Took 3 fastballs right over the plate after going up 3-0 and striking out looking.
And they were all fastballs, Michael, as you said. And you know, in the back of your mind as a hitter, you keep thinking split finger, and this is what happens. Once in a while, you just watch the eater go right down the middle.
So here's Cody Bellinger. 5 hits his last 17 at bats, but he is on the New York State Thruway batting average-wise, I-95 with 2 home runs and 12 ribbies. The 0-1, 0-2. Check out Toronto's defense. Clase in left, Straw in center, and Springer in right. Infield, Clement, Bichette, Jimenez, and Guerrero. That's third to first. Alejandro Kirk behind the plate. Santander, the DH. Gausman on the mound. Right back to Gausman. And the Yankees go down 1-2-3 against Toronto's right-hander. We'll go to the second, 1-0 Blue Jays. Well, let's check out FanDuel's live same-game parlay. So Max Fried did not have a strikeout in the first inning.
I like his chances at 5 or more, though. Huh?
Going on a limb, then.
Yeah.
All right.
Going out there.
Jonathan Clase. It's the first pitch. He's a 27th player. Playing a doubleheader, you can call up a 27th player. So it is Clase for the Yankees. It's Jerry De Los Santos, right-handed reliever. We made a mistake in the bottom of the first when I said Bellinger's hitting New York State Thruway, I-95. That's the New England Thruway. That's not the New York State Thruway. So I want to get it right.
That one got right by me, too.
Yeah. And I know it's the New England Thruway, but New York State came out, so I apologize to everyone that committed that to memory.
You know, you hit 95 and take a right, you'd go all the way to Florida.
Yeah. Up and down the East Coast. You ever drive to Florida from New York?
Not from New York.
No.
From Ohio, yeah. Not from New York.
1-0. 2-0 on Miles Straw.
Well, Miles Straw, one of those guys that defensively shows up every single day, just has not been able to figure out really how to become an offensive presence. Runs the bases well. 3 consecutive years in the major leagues with 20 stolen bases, but a lot of the year last year spent in the minor leagues just trying to figure out how to become a little bit better of a hitter.
2-2. Leader is brought to you by your local Tri-State Genesis retailer. So Max Fried is at 1.64 with the run he gave up in the first. And you see the top 5 in the American League. We'll see Chris Bassett in game 2. Grounded and off the glove of a lunging Volpe. A base hit for Straw.
Yeah, another ball hit hard just off the glove of Anthony Volpe. Straw runs very well. This would have been a tough play, even if he comes up with it. Again, we talked about his stolen bases, so you got to keep an eye on Straw here at first base.
Ball gets away from Wells, allowing Straw to go to second.
Yeah, these are just things that, you know, are really hurting Max Fried. This ball not knocked down. Kind of a tough play for Austin Wells. Another breaking ball in the dirt that takes double play out of play and also puts Straw in scoring position here with 1 out.
Bichette's infield single in the first inning gives him a 10-game hitting streak against the Yankees. 11 for 35. Count 1-1. So Bichette's average is about back to what it was. He was down to 225 last year. Hit 299 from 19 through 2023. Do you know, Paul, he has not hit a home run since last May?
Yeah, it's, you know, you kind of scratch your head. He's a good, solid hitter, no doubt about it. He went through some injuries last year with a calf strain. He broke a finger towards the end of the year. Yeah, I mean, here's a guy that this is what he does. What a play. Nope.
Well, could not hold on. Straw stays at second, so that'll be a base hit for Bichette, his second of the game.
I think Straw got a read that he was going to make this play. Cody Bellinger comes in and just goes off the heel of his glove. But Straw, by going back to tag up, which he possibly could get an extra base, does not advance. With 1 out, that makes a difference.
Does that make sense, going back to tag on that? He wouldn't have been able to get the third.
Well, if the outfielder loses his, leaves his feet possibly, but still, right there, that's an in-between play. You got to go halfway.
The old inside move, chasing Straw back.
So he reads it there, and then all of a sudden he thinks he's going to make the play and leave his feet where you might be able to, gain that extra base, but it costs himself a base there.
Pitch to Guerrero. 1-0. So far, early going, Fried not nearly as sharp as he was in Tampa, where he was hitting corners, quadrants, every quadrant of the strike zone. He's trying to find the strike zone. 2 walks in the first inning. One and one.
Boy, you're seeing some big pitches. Bichette had one, a big cut, and Guerrero there, which a lot of times when hitters are guessing along with the pitcher, you'll see those huge swings when they get the pitch they want. Again, the breaking ball down and in. This is a pitcher's just a perfect pitch on the back foot.
That base hit by Bichette, only a 35% catch probability, so it was not an easy play for Bichette, or should I say for Bellinger. Now, what the Yankees want out of Guerrero is a double play. He's grounded into 111 of them in his career, the most in the majors since 2019. Runners go, and they got him in a rundown. 2 runners will be on second, so Straw is tagged out by Cabrera. Moving to second is Bichette. 2 outs.
Well, good job by Fried to catch this in the kind of the spin move, but all of a sudden Cabrera's got to run him back farther, and you run him back before you make him turn his back, and this allows another runner to advance, but still a big out by Fried.
It's 1-5-4-5. Runner goes to second. So now 1-2 count on Guerrero with 2 outs. High fly ball, right center. Judge puts it away. That's his 3rd putout in 2 innings. So the Blue Jays don't score. We go to the bottom of the 2nd. Well, it's time for Pinstripe Pride, brought to you by Toyota, the official hybrid vehicles of the Yankees. Today's picture is of Harry and Mary, who love rooting on the Yankees, especially their favorite player, Aaron Judge. Oh, Harry. Oh, Henry and Mary. It says Harry and Mary here, so I'm going to go with what's on the picture. Use the hashtag Toyota Pinstripe Pride. Mention yes in pictures you post to social media to reflect your love for the Bronx Bombers. We might spotlight you in a future game. Well, Gausman retires the Yankees in order 1-2-3 in the 1st inning. Now it'll be Goldschmidt, Chisholm, and Volpe against the veteran right-hander. Here's Goldschmidt, a rare 0 for 5 on Friday when the Yankees lost that game. Went into the 9th with a 2-1 lead. Grounded, right side, grabbed by Guerrero. He's going to flip to Gausman, who beats Goldschmidt to the bag. 1 away.
Guerrero went a long way. He's way off the bag, but he's known as a hitter, obviously, his numbers, but he's become a very good defensive first baseman.
And he made the switch from 3rd. He actually came up as a 3rd baseman. So Chisholm reached 3 times on Friday, a single and 2 walks. Last 4 games, he's 3 for 10.
And going back to Guerrero, I mean, he won a Gold Glove in 2022.
We said on Friday that of his big contract that he signs, $325 million is going to be in a bonus. But doing some further digging, it's not one check. It's over a period of the 15 years that they will pay out that bonus. Guerrero gets another try and another flip to Gausman.
I got to imagine those checks, any way you split them up, are pretty good.
You would think so.
Yeah.
And sometimes it really helps players, too, because, Allen Iverson, his sneaker contract was done over a number of years that would start to kick in when he was 45, and he had used a lot of the money that he made with the basketball, but all of a sudden there's this, saving grace that comes through, and it works out.
A guy named Jordan did pretty good with the sneakers, too.
Yeah, he did okay. He did so well they made a movie out of it. On Volpe. That's lined in the left center field. It is a base hit. Straw cuts it off. Volpe's going for 2. The throw is going to be wide. He'll get there with a hustle double.
A good swing by Volpe. I don't know that I've seen a player. Jeter was good at it. Knobloch was good at it. At rounding first and just not any wasted time. He gets to second base in a heartbeat here. This is the second double we've seen in this series. There's no wasted time of a wide turn or hitting the bag wrong. Really, really good base runner.
Here's Austin Wells. So that's the Yankees' first base runner, first base hit. And that one is tapped slowly to Bichette. The throw, and they get Wells for the final out. No runs a hit, no errors, and 1 man left. We've played 2 in the Bronx. It is 1-0 Jays. Stream every out-of-market game live or on demand, plus stream MLB Network 24/7 for the entire season. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. Families together here at the ballpark. Another big crowd at Yankee Stadium. First game of a doubleheader. The lights are on because the sun's kind of a rumor right now. Very overcast. Anthony Santander is going to start off the third inning. It's 1-0 Blue Jays. Fried deals. And a strike.
Well, you look at Santander's numbers. He was the big free agent acquisition by the Blue Jays coming in today. 182 with only 2 home runs last year. 44 home runs, 102 RBIs. So they're waiting for that breakout.
You know, it's funny, Paul. You look at the year that he had, and you would have thought there was a robust market for him. It didn't turn out that there was. 44 home runs, and he waited a while and signed a contract that is heavily deferred, so not worth nearly as much as it seems on paper. And the Orioles didn't bring him back as he strikes out looking, and the Orioles are really struggling in the early going.
Well, hopefully this is a sign to come. Max Fried just painting the outside corner with strike 3. Again, he has gone to that fastball a little bit more this year than in the past. Great breaking ball, great everything. Cutter, slugger, anything you want to throw, he can throw and throw for strikes.
That one is ripped to right field. On the run is Judge. And that one's going to be off the wall. Judge turns and fires. And Springer's in there with a double.
Well, Springer, one of the few guys we've talked about that is in this lineup that's been hitting all year. And another guy that's over the course of his career has done a lot of damage against the Yankees. His ball didn't come out quick enough for Aaron Judge to even have a shot. Springer runs pretty well.
There's Kirk. Volpe. 2 away. The Springer got out of the way of that one.
Yeah, you're talking about playing him the right place. I mean, Anthony Volpe right there. Springer was kind of leading off. Had to get out of the way of the baseball. Volpe took a couple steps toward him, thinking he possibly could tag him, but not near enough time.
For those new to the game, if it hit him, he would have been out, and it would have been a base hit for Kirk. There's a strike to Jimenez.
I did that intentionally one time, Michael. Don't tell anybody.
Really?
Yeah, we were at Fenway Park. Tino hit like a 16 hopper. That kind of ran right into it. Got him a base hit.
Really?
Yeah. High-fived him in the dugout. It's going to be an out anyway, right? Might as well get him a hit.
So it was the last out of the inning?
That I don't remember.
That's a good friend.
Yeah. Looks good on the back of the baseball card.
Absolutely. Doesn't say, well, it hit O'Neill on purpose. 1-2. I wonder if anybody ever did that for you.
No, I don't remember it, but it comes into play. Actually, I remember it. It's weird. It just kind of had a flashback. Saberhagen was pitching. And I think it was the last out of the inning, and I just kind of ran into it, let it hit me.
And Tino got a hit.
Tino gets a hit.
1-2. 2-2. Fried did have a pretty economical inning soon just to get his pitch count back in order. Scoop the other way over the screen into the seats. Fried's had 3 previous starts against Toronto, obviously all with the Braves. And he's pitched to a 0.95 ERA, and they've hit 169 against him. But they have 5 hits so far in 2 2/3. The hardest hit ball, though, is the Springer double. But they've made him work.
Yeah, you can see Fried kind of reaching across and using the pitch comm, where in my mind he's pretty much calling his own game.
Grounded to Goldschmidt. He's going to flip to Fried, who beats Jimenez to the bag. And that'll do it. The double is wasted. We go to the bottom of the 3rd. Yankees Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by Hyundai. With a brand new Hyundai, there's joy in every journey. By Untuck It. Find the perfect fit today at untuckit.com or more than 80 stores worldwide. By Optimum Fiber. Get Optimum, the fastest fiber internet. Don't take slow for an answer. And by the New York Lottery. Get out there and play. Kevin Gausman, 2 shutout innings. He'll come out for the bottom of the 3rd. And it'll be Dominguez, Cabrera, and Rice. 8, 9, and 1 in the Yankees order.
Yeah, out of those 2 innings, Michael, he's only thrown 18 pitches, 12 in the first, 6 in the second.
Now he's going to get a 1 pitch out as Dominguez skies out to Clase.
A lot of times, Gausman's known for that split finger, so you don't want to get deep in the count, but he is getting a lot of outs with few pitches. But, as a hitter, you're afraid to go up there and really work the count to get to 2 strikes because he can put you away with that split finger.
Here's Oswaldo Cabrera. So in 2023, Gausman was 3rd in the American League Cy Young voting behind Garrett Cole and Sonny Gray. And so last season, it's kind of looked at as a down season for him, but he still had a 3.83 ERA and 31 starts. He's in the 4th year of a 5-season, $110 million deal with Toronto. And the Blue Jays were smart. They pursued him instead of bringing back Robbie Ray, who had won the Cy Young. And Ray ended up getting hurt.
You saw at the bottom of that graphic, Michael, Aurora, Colorado. That's where I lived when I played in AAA out in
Did you like
Denver.
it?
Just outside of Denver. Yeah, beautiful. I mean, everybody knows the Rocky Mountains and Denver is a, the haven in the winter. But what beautiful summers out there.
2-2. Cabrera has 9 hits in his last 32 at-bats, hitting .277 overall. Three and 2 on the Yankee 3rd baseman. Foul back and out of play. Take a look at his arsenal on StatCast 3D, brought to us by Google Cloud.
Another 4-seamer. I mean, he's been using that a lot today, but look at the split finger. I mean, it's used a lot, and especially as a strikeout pitch. You see, since that split finger, 168 with a 41% K rate. That's pretty impressive.
And he walks. Oswaldo Cabrera with 1 out. Back to the top of the order, and Ben Rice. So on Friday, the Yankees scored 2 runs. It's the 7th time The Yankees have scored 3 runs or fewer in the game, which is tops in the majors. So their offense has been clicking, although there are some flat spots in that order, but they're getting it done with all the home runs. 1-0. Now, Gosman's off to a good start this year, but he's coming off a loss in Houston Monday when he zipped through 4 shutout innings and then just suddenly gave up 4 runs in the 5th. He said, I felt like I was dialed in. Next thing you know, it's 4-0. There's that splitter 1-1.
Yeah, I think that Ben Rice has shown that he can turn on that fastball, especially here in Yankee Stadium. And against righties, he's been so successful. And I think you're going to see a tendency for pitchers to go off speed a lot to him.
Remember, Aaron Judge on deck.
And a lot of times with Aaron Judge on deck, Cabrera will stay still in case there's an out. You still got a guy on first base where you have a better tendency to see Aaron Judge swing the bat.
So 3-2 count, 1 out. Rice struck out in the 1st inning. And he works a walk here in the 3rd. That'll bring up Judge with runners on 1st and 2nd. We'll check out Coors Light beating the pressure. Most home runs before his 33rd birthday. Aaron had 322. Only 3 players on the Yankees have had more before that birthday. Mickey had 454, then Gehrig, Ruth, and then Judge. And it was Aaron's 33rd birthday yesterday.
And Aaron Judge got a kind of a late start. What was he, 24, I think?
25 when he really started playing, yep.
Mickey was, what, 18, 19?
19 years old. No, Aaron went to Fresno State, so he spent 3 years in college where he could have been playing professionally. And that's one of the things you have to calculate if you're a baseball player. Do you go to college and start your clock, probably 3 years later than somebody coming out of high school? Mm-hmm. You went out of high school, but you had an option to go to college.
Yeah, I mean, when I got drafted, I had signed a letter of intent to go to college, but, it's basically what I wanted to do. So. Mm-hmm.
I would have loved to have seen you matriculate.
Well, if you explain what that means, I'll tell you I would have done it. Let me write that one. Let me write that one down.
That one is ripped to right field. Springer back, turning. It's off the wall. Cabrera's going to stop at 3rd as they got it in quickly, holding Judge to a single. The bases are loaded.
Well, I don't know what happened there. Cabrera got stuck, and then Ben Rice did a great job at adjusting, and then Aaron Judge also had to adjust and not think about going to 2nd. Off the bat, you always think it's gone, but watch, Cabrera kind of hesitates, and look at Ben Rice. He thinks he's going, whoa! I mean, that's just a good base running adjustment. I don't know what Cabrera was thinking, that this ball off Aaron Judge was going to be caught. Two of the game's better hitters just having a chat over there.
Well, Pete Walker, the pitching coach, goes out to the mound to settle down Kevin Gausman. So it looked like Judge was going to get at least a ribby, but it didn't work out that way.
Yeah, Cabrera hesitated, kind of getting a read, thinking that the Springer was going to catch it, possibly go back and tag. But it's 2 situations we've seen by both teams where, guys cost himself a run here and a base with Straw with Toronto earlier.
There's Cody Bellinger, infield back for the double play. Bases loaded, 1 out. 1-0, not as sharp as he was in the first 2 innings, falling behind. Foul back to the screen, 1-1.
And we got a splitter there, but it was out and it was up, and a pitch that, you know, you can really drive the other way.
The 1-1. There's a strike, 1-2. Bellinger in his last 5 games is 5 for 20. But hitting under 200 for the season. Big spot here. One thing I do notice from him, he does change his swing with 2 outs, with 2 strikes.
Yeah, he does make an adjustment, try to cover the outside corner a little bit more. Notice a lot of movement from Cody Bellinger late. I mean, right when the ball's on its way, which a lot of times as a hitter, it's just mechanically kind of starting a little bit too late, not giving yourself a lot of time.
Fouled that one off. Kirk could not hold on. Despite his struggles, Bellinger does have 12 ribbies. No way to practice that.
No, very fortunate to still have a swing. Brought his hands in, just trying to make contact. Fouled it off out of Kirk's glove.
Yogi used to say the looser the glove, the better chance you had of catching it.
Especially in the pocket. The old gloves, you know, you had the rawhide strings that were, you know, really, really loose, and the ball would stay in there a lot more.
2-2. Spoils that one.
Yeah, you see, this is just a late swing, just trying to put the ball in play, which is an adjustment. With some runners in scoring position, somehow, some way, put it in play. You never know.
Fly ball, left field. That should get a run in. Tagging Cabrera. Catch is made. Here's the throw. And he's in there. Sac fly for Bellinger. Game is tied at 1.
A really good job by Bellinger just to put the ball in play after a couple foul balls, just emergency hacks. Knowing that you've got speed at third base, Cabrera runs very well. Medium range fly ball. Well, you have such a tendency when you're on third base to really try to get a good jump, but Cabrera does a good job. Throw up the line a little bit, just slides in and around it.
First and second, 2 outs. Here's Goldschmidt. 1-0. Goldschmidt grounded out to Guerrero in the second. So far 0 for 6 in this series against the Blue Jays. 0 for 5 on Friday. Two-0. Sun peeking through the clouds. Lights still on here at the stadium. Starting to see some blue skies above. Pickoff was on, but getting back is Rice. Rice at second, Judge is at first. Bellinger just picked up his 13th ribby. 2-1. So Paul told you how economical Gausman was over the first 2 innings, but the Yankees making him work. It's at 46 now, his pitch count. Three and one.
Oh, good situation for Goldschmidt. Should get a good pitch to hit here. It's got to make sure that it's something that you're looking for out over the plate.
Three and two. Runners will go. First and second, 2 outs. The 3-2. And Goldschmidt works a walk. The bases are reloaded.
After the 3-1 fastball, the Goldschmidt fouled off, and he went back to the split finger trying to get a strikeout, but has not had great command with that. He got a big bat right here with Jazz.
Chisholm grounded to Guerrero in the first. Paxton Schultz warming.
Yeah, this is his 32nd pitch this inning after we had talked about only 12 in the first, 6 in the second. Now 32 or 33 and still not out of it.
Rice at third, Judge at second, Goldschmidt's at first. 2 men out, 1 run in, 1-1 game. Bottom of the third, first game of a doubleheader. Two and 0. Snap throw to third, diving back is Rice. And 3-0 on Chisholm.
Well, you got to make Gausman make good pitches to get back in this count. And Kirk, he's shown that he really likes to throw from the catcher's position. Threw out a couple people the other night in the same inning, and has tried a couple pickoffs as well.
There's ball 4. That's going to force in a run. Rice will touch home plate, and when he does, the Yankees have a 2-1 lead. So a ribby for Chisholm, his 16th of the year. And that brings up Volpe. Hustle double to left center in the second. Yankees liked what they saw of him at the plate on Friday. They thought something clicked in during batting practice before that game. They still have a firm belief in Volpe. Oh and 1. And the pitch. Strike 2, 0-2. Well, Gausman, for this inning, probably running on fumes. He's thrown so many pitches in one inning. The 0-2. Still throwing hard. Dialed that up to 96. 38 pitches this inning. Still 1-2. Bases loaded, 2 outs. 2-2 on Volpe. In this inning, Gausman has walked 4. A single by Judge off the wall and a sac fly. Yankees have 2, looking for more. 3-2.
One of the Yankee hitters doing a great job of staying off that split finger that's out of the strike zone, and that's usually Gausman's strength. Seen a lot of guys chase that ball. They must be seeing the ball extremely well out of his hand.
Runners will go. And they'll do it again, really making Gausman throw a lot of pitches. Pitchers essentially train for 15 to 20 pitches an inning, so anything over that, it's like a boxer going 4 or 5 minute rounds instead of 3 minute rounds. 3-2. So the runner's getting in some work. .44 is his career high for pitches in an inning, so the next pitch will tie his career high. Really laboring here. 3-2. And he walks a Volpe. That forces in Judge. And the Yankees have a 3-1 lead.
And if you're Schneider, you got to realize, you know what, he is your ace, but he's really struggling. Is this inning taking too much? Are you going to give him an opportunity to try to get out of it?
He doesn't want to, but I mean, the wise move would be to take him out. You just can't push a pitcher that much. And you could see the signal he gave to Alejandro Kirk to go out and talk with him, just to allow Paxton Schultz to get more warm-ups. 5 walks in the inning. You would think that Schultz is ready. Pete Walker on the phone just to make sure, and so far Schneider not making a move. A little surprising. Here's Wells. 9th batter to come to the plate. Paul, this surprise you?
You know what? Yeah, when you tell the catcher to go call, usually you've made up your mind. You need a little time. You're gonna, but you know he is going with his horse. I mean, Gausman is one of the horses of this pitching staff, so he's giving him an opportunity to get through this inning and try to recoup and give him a couple more. And the funny thing is, this is what he's been able to do, is get ahead. He just has not been able to put guys away.
So 0-2 on Wells. Wells grounded to short in the second. Bases loaded. 5 walks for Gausman. That's a career high in an inning. 6 walks is a career high in a game. Into the seats. Yankees up 3-1. One swing away from really giving Max Fried a lot of room to work. The 0-2. Check swing. Did he go? No, he did not, said John Tumpain.
Let's see how close it is. No, I think he held back.
It's amazing how they're taking that splitter.
Yeah, anything out of the strike zone, the Yankees have been very good. This is the 50th pitch coming up in this inning.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 3-2. So career high in pitches, 1 ball away from a career high in walks for a game in this inning. Runners will go. It's kind of difficult to watch. I mean, you're putting a lot of strain on the guy's legs and arm right now.
Well, you saw his reaction. I mean, he's just basically going at Wells here, and after another foul ball, just turning around frustrated, cannot put the Yankee hitters away.
Wow.
Just going to throw this out there, Michael. I don't think you're going to see Gausman in the 9th. What do you think?
That's a pretty good bet.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You better put that in our parlay.
I'd be surprised if you see him in the 4th. High fly ball. Right center field. On the run is Springer. He's not going to get there. It's off the wall. 1 run scores. 2 runs score. Everyone scores. A bases clearing double for Wells. And the Yankees lead 6-1.
Well, he just went to the well too many times. Austin Wells off the bat thought it was out of the ballpark, but a huge 3-run double. It's going to be the end of the day for Gausman, and this was just a grind for him in this inning. The Yankee hitters did a great job at swinging the strikes, putting themselves in position. And right now, they just broke the game open at 6-1.
Well, running on the pitch. It was easy for all 3 to score. Wells now with 15 ribbies on the season. Gausman's day is done, and that was a rocky 3rd inning as they go to the bullpen. Yankees baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by Delta, the official airline of the New York Yankees. Now, Gausman threw all of these pitches. And the guy who's coming up right now with a runner on second and 2 outs is Dominguez, who swung at the first pitch of the inning.
Gausman's still chirping. He walked off the mound, and you could tell was not happy with Chris Conroy behind the plate.
And now here comes John Schneider to talk with Conroy. Yeah, he was staring at the home plate umpire, and then you see him walking from the outfield side of the dugout to the home plate side, and he was barking. So Paxton Schultz comes on. To face Dominguez. 1-0. So he's arguing with the ump. And then he stumbles down the steps. He's okay.
You know, some days things don't work out for you, Michael. Huh?
When we try to be fair with these things, I didn't see many missed calls there, did you?
No.
I mean, they were close, but...
It was amazing how he was getting ahead early and just could not put the hitters away.
(2-0) on Dominguez. So Dominguez saw 1 pitch, Cabrera 7, Rice 6, Judge 3, Bellinger 8, Goldschmidt 6, Jazz 4, Volpe 9, and Wells 9.
Yeah, Wells' 9th was a big 3-run double, too.
Three and 1. Different pitcher, same act so far. Wells on second with 2 outs. And there's ball 4. 6th walk by the Yankees in this inning. So here's Cabrera. He started the rally with that 1-out walk against Gausman earlier this inning. Schultz made his major league debut last Sunday against the Mariners, pitched 4 1/3 shutout innings of relief with 8 strikeouts. 27 years old. 1-1. Two and one. Yankees very patient in this inning. Two hits, 6 walks, a sac fly, 6 runs scored. Inning not over yet. Cabrera, the 11th batter to come to the plate in the 3rd for the Yanks. Now, in the old days, it would be a little bit of an issue. Max Fried was at a long inning in the dugout, but there's a full mound just behind the Yankee dugout underneath the stadium, so he could be taking some of the mix just to stay ready.
I mean, this is a half-an-hour inning and counting. It's been over 30 minutes so far, so that is a long break for a pitcher.
2-2. Yeah, 34 minutes since he threw his last pitch. So the runners will go 3-2, 2 outs. Grounded to first, Guerrero, and the inning is finally over. But the Yankees score 6, they leave 2. We go to the 4th, 6-1 Yankees. Well, fans, remember that game 2 of this doubleheader comes your way approximately 30 minutes after the final out. So stay with Yes for complete bridge coverage with reaction from Aaron Boone. And, well, of course, we'll have the lineups for game 2. Plenty of game 1 still to go.
Oh, we're just breaking this one open.
Now, they just announced that Gausman was ejected when he was walking off the mound, so he was getting his money's worth as he was yelling from the dugout and then stumbled down the steps. So a rough inning all around for Kevin Gausman.
You know, you brought up his last start where, you know, he just cruised through 3 and then gave up 4. It was kind of the same today. Just cruised through a couple innings and then just hit a wall.
There's a strike to Ernie Clement. Yankees up by 5, 6-1. Pitchers always say, well, we'll take the long wait in the dugout if we can get runs, but there is always concern not throwing pitches for a while, but he's 1-2 in the count to Clement. Fried's trying to go 5-0. Yankees trying to go 6-0 in his 6 starts. Still 1-2. Remember, one of the starts, Fried left, what was it, out away from qualifying for the win?
I think it was his first start of the year, right?
Yep. Threw a lot of pitches and had a big lead. Scoop down the left field line. That is going to be a foul ball. Oh, the little guy missed it. Let's see if Dominguez gives him another shot. He gets it.
High fives all around.
Absolutely. ball left field, and Dominguez will play it on a hop as Clement picks up a leadoff single.
Clement kind of just reaches around it and one-hands it out to left field. Not hit very hard, but top spin. Dominguez just lets it go instead of going for it and give him a double if it gets by you.
There's Clase, called up as the 27th man today. Really in 21 games at AAA. 364, 12 stolen bases, OPS of 899. Grounded back to Fried in the second inning. We're in the fourth now, 6-1 Yanks. Toronto has had its share of games against the AL East. They're 3-3 against Baltimore, 3-1 against Boston, and 1-0 against the Yanks. 1-2. First time the Yankees have played a doubleheader against the Blue Jays in the Bronx since May of 2021. One-two. Broken bat, ground ball, Cabrera. Takes the out at first. Clement moves to second.
Yeah, Cabrera knew the sound and the barrel of the bat hitting his way. Just took the sure out at first. This ball got way in towards the hands and just shattered the bat. It'll be a tough play to stop your momentum and throw back to second base. So he just continued through it and got the sure out at first.
You know, when you see broken bats like that,
yeah,
it would make me paranoid if I was corking my bat. I mean, we've seen guys get caught.
Yeah.
Sosa, Nettles. I mean, Nettles had Super Balls in the bat.
These are the maple bats. They've changed. You can't even buy an ash bat anymore. Everything's made. Maple's a little bit harder wood. It's a lighter wood, but when they break, they don't just crack. They explode.
Well, that's why you can't have any funny stuff in there. I mean, they do. They break a lot.
Well, you don't need any more stuff. You got torpedo models. You've got new wood. But, I mean, that ball's in. That bat should break. That ball hit inside the label.
Chops slowly to third. Cabrera gets the speedy straw for the second out as Clement moves to third.
Yeah, luckily this ball got by Fried because the straw's wheels. Fried is not going to be able to stop and turn and make the throw. So it gets by him. Cabrera, again, you talked earlier in the game, Michael, defensively, he gloves everything.
Bichette 2 for 2, takes a pitch up and away, 1-0. The Friday win by the Blue Jays snapped a 5-game losing streak for them. As we mentioned, they're a 500 team, 13-13. .72 pitches for Fried, with 2 outs here in the fourth.
You know, it wasn't long ago, Michael, that Bichette broke in, Biggio's son broke in, and Vlad broke in, and you thought, you know, this is those 3 guys you're going to build this organization. And all of a sudden, you know, that window you haven't really done much with to this point. Biggio not even here anymore.
Biggio's not here. Bichette's in the last year of his contract. They have locked up Guerrero. 1-2. Fly ball, right center on the run. Judge, he's there to make the play, and that'll do it. No runs a hit, and 1 man left. Let's go to the bottom of the 4th. Time for today's injury report. Brought to you by Montefiore Einstein, the official hospital of the New York Yankees. The rehab assignment for LeMahieu going well, including today, 4 rehab games, 6 for 10, a double, a home run, and 3 ribbies. The rehab assignment will move to AAA Scranton Wilkes-Barre for the upcoming week. And there's a strike to Ben Rice as we start at the bottom of the 4th inning. And there's some good news on Luis Hill, right, Meredith?
Michael, Luis Hill walked into the Yankees clubhouse today with a purple glove in his hand and a huge smile on his face. He started his throwing program today. It's the first time he picked up a ball since he was diagnosed with a high-grade lat strain. He said that went well, just a little session of playing catch out in right field, but a big first step for Luis Hill. Obviously, he'd need to go through the equivalent of a spring training to get himself built up and back in that rotation, but Michael, he's moving in the right direction.
Boy, could they use him. This is him throwing at 5 minutes to 11. They thought it was going to be tomorrow, but when Aaron Boone found out that he's going to throw today, that's even better.
About the pinstripe shorts there, Mike.
Very nice. Popped up. Ball goes in the air as the sun comes out. Oh, what a play by Clement to retire Rice.
Well, you can tell right off the bat, Clement had no idea where this ball was, did not see the contact, looked up, couldn't see it. And you start to panic, and he went a long way. I mean, this is a great play after not being able to find the ball off the bat.
Here's Judge. His single in the 3rd extended his on-base streak to 23 straight. Hitting .410.
Measly .410.
So you took 400 what into June?
I think so.
Is that a heavy thing to carry? Because 400 is a magic number in baseball.
It was for me, and you remember, you know, as soon as you start getting questioned about it, you start to, you know, to question yourself in your mind is, you know, how long is this going to go on? And before, you know, you have to think about it, you're just going around, you know, going about your everyday business.
We've told the story before. You did not want to talk about it. You told the media, I'll talk about it if I'm hitting it in June, I think you said. And then you did talk about it, and then you kind of went into a little bit of a slump.
A little bit. The worst slump I ever had in my life. I went 0 for 23. You didn't come down to the clubhouse for weeks, did you?
No, I was actually afraid of you.
Now you know what a nice guy I was, huh?
That one is a base hit to right field. So the average goes up. Judge 2 for 3. Hey, by the way, congratulations to Aaron Judge on being voted the Montefiore Einstein Player of the Week. Well, who else? 6 games, 480, 3 extra base hits, 4 ribbies. Look at the OPS, and even stole a base. On the left side, Clement makes the play. The last day you were 400 or over that year was June 17th. And you were hitting 405. After that date, you hit 304, but you know what? You end up winning the batting title.
Yeah, I mean, when you break it all down, there are ups and downs, but once you start trying to force things and thinking about, you know, it becomes a weight on you every single day to talk about.
And all the stories came out that you actually spoke to Ted Williams.
Yeah.
So there was that connection.
Yeah, it all landed on me too quick, you know. I hadn't hit 400 since high school, so you're not used to that.
0-2. Well, it's got to be hard. The last guy to do was Ted Williams. George Brett made a run at it. Tony Gwynn made a run. Swing and a miss. Goldschmidt down on strikes. No runs a hit. One man left. Let's go to the fifth. The New York Yankee Foundation's 50-50 raffle is now open during every home game at Yankee Stadium. One lucky fan wins half the pot. The other half is donated to the New York Yankees Foundation. Buy your tickets now at Yankees.com/5050. Guerrero takes inside 1-0 as we start the fifth. You know, we were talking about the year that you were hitting 400 after, the beginning of June. And Jack Curry dug out this quote from you. This was late May. You said, no matter, more argument, here comes Snyder. No, he must have been thrown out already, Paul, because you don't get this much.
That or he wants to get thrown out. Yeah, one of the two.
Well, Conroy's the crew chief, taking it in stride. I'd be stunned if he wasn't tossed, because you're not allowed to argue balls and strikes. So let's see what he was arguing about. It was a strike. I think he was saying, you could see that Wells brought his glove up to frame it, but that, according to that box, it was a strike. So he was thrown out. 1-2.
You know, as a hitter, you either want the outside corner or the inside corner. And right here, Vlad, you see him shaking his head. Where Fried got both pitches, right on the outside corner, right on the inside corner. And as a hitter, you start to think that, the plate's too big. I can't cover that much.
So with Schneider thrown out, that would mean that Mattingly is the acting manager. He's the bench coach. Strike three. And Guerrero does not like that call.
Well, I tell you what, he painted 3 pitches in this at bat. And if you look at the box, they're all just borderline right there. Just perfect pitches by Fried.
Right on that line.
That was 97.
Yeah.
I see that right.
He dials it up every now and then. He saves it. He doesn't use it a lot, but he does have it there. Popped up. Wells toward the screen. Runs out of room. Let me finish with your quote, Paul. No matter how nice you guys are or how many stories you write, none of that stuff helps me when I get to the plate. The more of these things I do, the more of a distraction it becomes. It was such a joy.
That was pretty good. I don't remember saying any of it, but that was pretty good, though.
Not too bad.
You must have loved it when they told you, hey, go interview that knucklehead over there. We need a quote.
Now, I do wonder, Paul, who's managing the Blue Jays right now, because Donnie's the bench coach. Usually the bench coach takes over. But the Blue Jays have an associate manager, and that is the veteran DeMarlo Hale. And it looks like Hale is on that step there where he would be managing. Yankees do not have a guy with associate manager title. They have a bench coach, Brad Ausmus. Three and 2 on Santander. 83 pitches for Fried, 1 out here in the 5th. 6-1 Yanks. First game of a doubleheader. Swing and a miss. Third strikeout.
Wow, this has been his best inning. He's painted low and away, in and low, and there, up and in. I mean, Fried has had a great inning, control-wise, command-wise. Here in the 5th.
Here's George Springer. And there's a strike. Yeah, he's definitely hitting the corners now. Up, down, all 4 quadrants. Oh, 2. Becoming more overcast right now. The sun has been fighting a battle with the clouds. Right now it's losing. Lights remain on.
Sun hadn't had a good spring here, you know?
No, not at all.
Kind of ghosted us, didn't it?
And the 1-2. Foul ball. As you can tell, Fried does call his game. He's got the pitch comm on his belt. Always goes to it to tell Wells what he's going to throw. High pop up on the right side. Chisholm called off by Judge. And the Blue Jays are retired in order. It's time to name that Yankee. Brought to you by Prevagen, made for your brain. This is a 10. Wow. 73-76 with the Yankees. Then he went on to the Blue Jays. Nice long run there. Finished with the then Indians. 251, 78 home runs, 272 runs batted in.
A 10?
Oh, no. Audi scoreboard. 6-1. He's an original Blue Jay. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning.
An original Blue Jay. What was that, 76, 77?
77.
That was the year I think Billy Martin did the old pick him out of a hat, right? Lineup. And it was against the Blue Jays. Off to a tough start, so he just started picking names out of a hat, and it won, and they won. Worked.
You know, I like Billy, but
yeah.
If you look at the lineup, I'm somewhat dubious that was out of a hat. Yeah. Why was Munson and Chambliss, all the people
still in the 4 and the 5?
They were up top.
Luck of the draw. You're not buying it, huh?
Maybe a crooked hat. I don't know.
I told you the story. A Buck called me in one day, Michael, and Randy Velarde was hurt, and he was like our go-to guy against Randy Johnson. So he called Straw, me and Deion James in, or Deion James and another lefty.
All 3 lefties.
And he said, well, one of you guys got to play. We're going to draw straws. So managers have a way of skewing things. So he said, O'Neill, here, you draw. And I kind of pulled, and so I pulled another one. And then Deion James pulled the bad straw. He had to play that day. So Buck called me back in. He said, I didn't want you in there. I just wanted to let you know.
Wow. Cooking up something special with Hexclad. Join the hybrid revolution at hexclad.com. Positive numbers there on Volpe. Mattingly told a story about Randy Johnson on Thursday, where Randy Johnson faced the Yankees at the stadium. And Mattingly said, I embarrassed myself. He said, I didn't even put up a representative bat. You know, I kept bailing and said it was awful. And I knew we were going to face him in Seattle like a week and a half later. And all I did was think about it, what I was going to do, how I was going to hang in there. The night before, I didn't sleep, kept thinking about just keep your shoulder in, you know, go up the middle. First pitch he threw was right at his head.
Yeah.
And he was on his back, looking up at the King Dome ceiling and said, oh, that was a waste.
What a waste of a night of sleep, huh?
So the lineup that he pulled out of the half that you're talking about, Randolph led off, that's normal. Munson second, Jackson third, Nettles fourth. Then Rivers, who usually led off, was fifth. Roy White sixth, Carlos May seventh, Chambliss eighth. So that was a little different than usually 3 or 4. And then Bucky Dent ninth. Yankees won 7-5, and Don Gullett pitched. High fly ball, right field. Springer back, track, wall, see ya. Home run for Volpe. 7-1 Yanks.
Well, Anthony Volpe, we said, might have found something. Maybe he did, and he just found his 5th home run of the year. A short porch in Yankee Stadium, but knew it off the bat too. That's the thing. And when you go the other way as a hitter and know it off the bat, pretty good swing.
2 for 2, a walk, 2 runs scored, 2 ribbies. Strike to Wells.
Well, this is a high fastball up in the strike zone, but he stays with it and just rips it to right field.
First home run since April 2nd.
Yeah, he got off to a great start with the home runs, and then just took a little break and now threw up his 5th.
Fly ball deep center. Going back Straw, still back. Track, wall, it's off the wall. Wells round second. He's going to stop right there as they fire into third. A double for Wells.
We'll go back to Anthony Volpe. You see the ball up in the strike zone, and a week ago he was having a little problem with that pitch. Well, every once in a while as a hitter you make adjustments. Can't do it any better than that.
So Anthony had 4 home runs in his first 5 games, and that home run broke a 21-game homerless streak.
And this, you know, the ball's really not carrying, but this is a pitch away and just ripped to right center or left center field off the bottom of the wall.
Here's Dominguez. Paxton Schultz still in there. 0-1. Dominguez with a fly ball to left and a walk. Both of those plate appearances came in the 3rd inning when the Yankees scored 6 runs. They're up 7-1 now, bottom of the 5th.
You got a doubleheader, so Schultz, I mean, you've got to, if you're Toronto, you got to throw somebody out there to take up some innings here.
1-1.
You know, looking back at what I think it was 53 pitches from Gausman. I mean, that might have been Schneider. One of the things going through his mind is, you know what, it's very early in the game here. If I can get him through this inning or maybe another one, I might be able to save a pitcher going into that 2nd game.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Runner at second, 1 out. Yankees up by 6. 3-2. And a walk. Second walk for Dominguez. You know, Gosman threw 53 pitches in that third inning before he was lifted. And we looked it up, and we can only go back to 2000. That's the most pitches thrown against the Yankees in an inning since at least 2000. That's as far back as we were able to go. First and second, still one out. Dominguez 0 for 1 with a walk and a run scored. Hits sharply and a fair ball inside first. Kicks off the sidewall. Well scores. Dominguez is at third. They're waving him home. The throw is not nearly in time. It's a two-run double for Cabrera. And the Yankees lead 9-1.
Well, Cabrera has no problem turning on this ball. Rips it down the right field line. A couple more runs, and the Yankees again have really broke this game wide open. 9-1 here in the bottom of the fifth.
Boy, Dominguez motoring from first. They didn't even think about stopping him. So 2 ribbies for Cabrera, now has 8 on the season. Back to the top of the order in Ben Rice. And a strike.
You talk about Dominguez. I mean, and his body type, he's big. He looks like a fullback, but he does have speed. He motors.
Still 0-2. Rice is 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. Well, Jazz Chisholm got good news today. He's no longer facing a 1-game suspension for his mid-game post-ejection tweet on April 17th. Reached a settlement agreement that rescinded the ban, a source told Gary Phillips of the Daily News. And Jazz said they were just like, there's no suspension, guys. I think they talked to my agent. So, good news on Jazz Chisholm.
Hey, you don't want to miss games. I mean, you don't want to pay fines either, but it is what it is.
1-2. 2-2. 2-2. Still 2-2.
Well, that's a dangerous pitch from Schultz, but he did it. He hit it perfect, just right under the hands. If you miss out over the plate, it's a pitch that Rice can hit into the seats. But that ball just stayed right there where he couldn't get to it.
Three and two. Josh Walker getting ready. Strike three. Rice down looking.
Well, it was the first time he saw that fastball in that location, so Schultz got away with it. Into the fastball count. Outer part of the plate, right on the corner, or right off, whatever you want to call
it. So here's Judge. 2 for 3 today. Count 0-1.
You know, these are extra at bats for Aaron Judge because, you know, if it's a 1-0 game, they just show him first base. But you know, with the score being 9-1, you know, you have a better chance as a hitter to see something to hit.
1-1 on Judge. Judge started the day 408 with his 2 hits. He's up to 416. One and two. Center field. Miles Straw is there. That'll do it. Yankees get 3 more runs, and it started with this swing. The Yankee shortstop Anthony Volpe goes the other way. Breaks a 21-game homerless streak. His 5th home run.
Everybody, Bob Lorenz with your Audi update. What a night for Eugenio Suarez and the Diamondbacks last night. Bottom of the 2nd, his 1st home run. Bottom of the 4th, his 2nd. Bottom of the 6th, his 3rd homer. 3rd time he's done that in a game. But the big story, bottom of the 9th. 19th player in history to hit 4 homers in a game. Only the 3rd to lose the game. Braves won at 8-7, guys.
Thank you, Bob. Alejandro Kirk leads off against Max Fried in the 6th. Takes a strike. And the count 0-1. Kirk 1 for 2. Yankees lead 9-1. First game of the doubleheader. Straight doubleheader. So there's going to be about 30 minutes between games. And we'll have the 2nd game right here. Nice little bridge show. You'll love it. Just hang around. Spend the whole day with us.
You know, Michael, you're just talking about that 4 home run game. You know, and you always think, you know,
That one is driven into center field. Bellinger back has room. Right center makes the play.
And that was the 19th time in history. There's been 24 perfect games. So that's even less likely than a perfect game.
That'll bring up Jimenez. Upstairs, 1-0. Well, 19 4-home run games, 24 perfect games, 173 6-hit games. All those no-hitters and 739 triple plays.
Now, the 6-hit game, that surprises me.
Yeah.
100 and some times? Wow.
I would seem to think that would be tougher than that.
Yeah.
Soft ground ball. Chisholm. 2 outs. Now let's go around the majors. You heard about Suarez. How about the Tigers? They swept a doubleheader against the Orioles, 17-10. That's the best record in the American League right now. Jarren Duran stole home for the third time in his career, and it's his first career straight steal. You ever steal home?
Well, part of a double steal. Yeah. Never, just taken off. Maybe in the backyard when I was about 10 or something.
Your brothers would not have taken kindly to that.
That's what we used to do. We used to water down the lawn right around home plate. So when you slid, I mean, it was like a slip and slide. It was awesome.
One and one. You might have heard a rumbling in the crowd a moment ago. New York fans are great.
Yeah,
so the Knicks just won against the Pistons by 1 point. And so obviously they're watching on their phone, and they gave a little cheer. So the Knicks are now up 3-1 in that best of 5, and they could finish it off at the Garden. A best of 7. They could finish it off in Game 5. They won both games in Detroit.
Just a different atmosphere in New York when teams are in the playoffs, right? Whether it's the Yankees, the Knicks, the Rangers, doesn't matter. There's just a vibe in the city. I love it.
Three and 2 on Ernie Clement. Grounded to Volpe. To first. Got him. So how about Max Fried? He retires the last 9 in a row. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th. We'll see if they're going to challenge. They're looking in the Blue Jay dugout. They're not challenging. That's going to do it. Monitor Einstein scoreboard. Yankees up by 8, 9-1. Time to pick out the pitching decisions presented by Sage.
Well, it looks like Fried was kind of searching early in the game, but he has really turned it around. Kick off there, but all of a sudden the big lead. He's pitching to the scoreboard and throwing the ball much better to the corners. 27 pitches in the first inning, and after that, he hasn't hit 20 since. So really a reversal of the way he started the game. Another great performance from Fried.
Josh Walker takes over for the Blue Jays, and he deals high to Bellinger starting the bottom of the 6th. Now, if you were watching the Knicks-Pistons Game 4, we welcome you to the Yes Network. Yankees lead this one 9-1. They scored 6 runs in the 3rd inning, 5 walks. They got Kevin Gausman to throw 53 pitches. And also an Anthony Volpe home run in the 5th inning where the Yankees added 3 more. And Max Fried has pitched well, giving up 6 hits and 1 run in 6 innings of work. 3-0.
That's why you have 2 televisions in the house now. You know, you can listen to you and the Yankees, and just peek out of your eye and check out the Knicks score.
A little split screen action.
That's right. You just turn it off now. Listen to all of your sparkling comments.
De Los Santos, the Yankees' 27th man for the doubleheader. He's warming. The Yankees have an 8-run lead. And Bellinger walks. So the Knicks win 94-93. Brunson 32 points, 11 assists. Karl Anthony Towns 27. And hit the game-winning 3-pointer. Game 5, they could close it out. Is Tuesday at Madison Square Garden. Here's Goldschmidt. All right, so Josh Walker's 30 years old. He's from Otisville, New York. And one of the PR people from the Blue Jays, I was on the field before Friday's game, came up to me and said, I don't know if he's going to be able to, but Josh Walker, he wants to meet Paul O'Neill so badly. If he has a chance, could he come down this weekend? And I told Paul, and Paul actually went down that day, and you met him, and he's wearing 21, Paul, because of you.
Yeah, it's an awesome story. He used to go to the old ballpark with his father, and he just was a huge Yankee fan. So, and I said the first thing I noticed when he came over is like, he's big, right. Big guy, big lefty. I said, I'd rather meet you on the field than face you. I didn't like the tall lefties. He always loved to see kids that grew up, you know, going to the stadium and have those great memories, as you did, Michael. I mean, as a kid, I mean, those are probably some of your fondest memories you've ever had. Huh?
Absolutely. Now, is it a compilation of both, or that one is driven out to right center field off the bat of Goldschmidt? That is going to be in there. One hop up against the wall. Bellinger around the third. They're sending him home. He's going to make it. It's an RBI double for Goldschmidt, his 10th ribby of the year and the 10th Yankee run of the day.
Well, Paul Goldschmidt, when he stays to right field and right center on the fastball, he can cover anything. And this ball was just laced out there. And you've seen some really good at-bats, inning after inning. Bellinger, you know what? No doubt about it. Off the bat, this is going to fall. You always want to score those RBIs for the guy that gets the hit. And Bellinger runs well.
So 10th ribby for Bellinger, or for Goldschmidt. Bellinger has 13 ribbies. Here's Chisholm. He picked up a ribby with the bases loaded walk in the third. 0 for 2 today. Shows bunt. Not going to make friends bunting when you're up 10-1.
Yeah, it's a hard one to understand there. If he just wanted to see a pitch, take a pitch.
We're in the bottom of the 6th. So what I was going to ask you, does it make you feel good that he idolized you? Does it make you feel old?
Well, when you're talking about the old stadium, you know, it brings back great memories for me as well as him as a young kid. But anytime anybody ever, you know, says, you know, I grew up watching you, it makes you feel good that, you know, you left some kind of imprint in there.
Mm-hmm. You know, the other night at the charity event that Don Mattingly held in the city on the off day on Thursday, somebody asked him the greatest moment of his career, and this, I mean, it really stunned me that he said this, because there were so many, you know, great moments. The 6 grand slams in 1 year, the only grand slams he ever hit in his career, the 8 games in a row with a home run, which still stands as a record with Dale Long and Ken Griffey Jr. But he said something I never would have thought. Popped up, shallow center, is going to find grass. Yes, it will. A base hit for Chisholm as Goldschmidt moves to third. Just reached out, put that into play, got himself a hit.
Yeah, kind of off a lefty. Every once in a while, you just kind of reach out because you've given away the outside corner, but he does make contact. And you know what? When you make contact, you never know. It's not part of your highlight reel, but you know what? It counts as a hit.
So here's Anthony Volpe, 2 for 2 with a walk, a couple of runs scored, a couple of ribbies. Anyway, you remember the old stadium? It had a long runway from the clubhouse, which would take you out onto the field. This is different because it's kind of winding. There's not that runway. And Mattingly said the greatest moment of his career was when he got called up. And he took that walk. He said even before the game began, and just when the field comes into sight, and that's what you're working for your whole life, and you see Yankee Stadium, and the first thing you saw was left field. He said that's the greatest moment of his career.
And what was really cool about it, when I think back there were some pictures in the locker room of like Mickey Mantle and you know, walking down that same tunnel. And it kind of, as a player, you put it into perspective of who's gone down that tunnel before. So yeah, I can understand that.
And in that tunnel was a sign that was hung up. And it was a quote by Joe DiMaggio. I want to thank the good Lord for making me a Yankee. And Derek Jeter touched that sign every single game of his life when he was going to the field. He made sure to touch that sign. One and 0 on Wells. First and third, one out.
A lot of history over there, wasn't it?
It was a pretty fun place.
You know, speaking of history, it was interesting today in the game notes that one of Babe Ruth's last appearances at the stadium was on this date. And now I got a picture from a friend, and it was the most unbelievable thing. It's a signed picture from Bob Feller, who gave Babe Ruth his bat to almost use as a cane because he was struggling.
Yep.
And they both Bob Feller signed it. This is my bat. I thought that was really cool because it's a iconic picture that everybody knows, but I never knew the story behind the bat.
And there it is right there.
That is cool.
And in his right hand, he's kind of leaning his weight on that bat, which Bob Feller gave him. Three and two. There's a fuller look at that picture. First and third, one man out. 10-1 Yanks. And down goes Wells. 2 away. That'll bring up Dominguez. Dominguez has walked twice. He's 0 for 1 with a run scored. And he's batting from the right side against the lefty Walker. Dominguez came into the game hitting .313 against righties and .103 against lefties, although he's gotten a real big hit from the right side. That was against Kansas City. Helped the Yankees win a game. 1 and 2 on the backdoor breaking ball.
That'd be the best wave I've ever seen at Yankee Stadium, Michael. I mean, talk about unison. Pretty good job today.
And it's getting a little chilly. I think people need to stay a little warm.
Just want to stand up.
Swing and a miss. So Walker strikes out the final 3 after the Yankees played it. Another run. We go to the 7th. Yankees Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by your local Ford stores. Ford is proud to be the official SUV of the Yankees. And by Delta, the official airline of the New York Yankees. Delta, keep climbing. Yeri De Los Santos. Last appearance Wednesday with Scranton. Numbers very good. And he is the 27th man. We'll tell you what we said earlier in case you missed it. Maybe you were tuned into the Knicks. You have a doubleheader. You're allowed to bring up 1 extra person, expand the roster to 27. So the Blue Jays brought up a position player, and the Yankees brought up another pitcher. There's a strike.
We brought up Meredith just in case we need her for game 2.
She's ready.
If she's ready to go. Doing the game notes back there just in case.
You know, she actually brought a couple of people from her building up to say hello. And one of the people pulled me aside and said, I got stories if you want to.
Stop it, Michael.
Here's my number if you want some stories about Meredith. So I found it strange, Mara. I really do.
You were trying so hard to get a good story out of them. My neighbors in New York, they are sweet people. And Paul, I'm always ready. Whatever you need.
Come on, go ahead, call that. That was Goldschmidt, a ground ball. Let's go. Get it going. Just warmed up.
One thing I just realized by meeting them, Meredith, they've got stories. They're just not giving them up, but they've got some stories.
I can't dispute that, Michael, but I'm happy that they are tight-lipped, you know.
Here's Miles Straw, and there's a strike. 10-1 Yankees over the Blue Jays. First game of a doubleheader. There'll be 30 minutes between games, and then game 2 right here on Yes. After the game, Yankees head to Baltimore and start a 3-game set, little mini road trip, 3-game set against the struggling Orioles. Then Thursday's another off day.
Yeah, you didn't really see that coming. You thought that you know, the Red Sox, the Orioles, and the Yankees obviously are going to battle in the American League East. And sure, it's still early, but Orioles not off to a good start.
You know what's really caught my eye is how Charlie Morton has struggled. I mean, this is a veteran pitcher who knows how to pitch, and his ERA is double digits right now. He's really struggled.
Well, Charlie Morton has always had a really good curveball, and you know, if you start to lose velocity, you start to lose that curveball, you're going to get hit.
That ball goes just under the glove of Chisholm, who thought he had it lined up. So Straws picks up a base hit. Bullpen budget brought to you by Citizens. Make sense of your money with Citizens. So obviously everybody was off yesterday. A lot of people used on Friday. So right now, if you could get De Los Santos to cover these final 3 innings, that's a big bonus. No meeting on the mound.
And Michael, you notice Luke Weaver's name was at the top of that list. Aaron Boone saying he is now going to get the majority of the reps in the 9th inning as the Yankees closer. He did say they can use anyone, but they would rather get Devin Williams in there in some lower leverage situations and try to get him right. He has just struggled to start the season. And when I spoke to him post-game after Friday's loss, he said nothing is working right now. He wished he had a better answer to tell the media, but he's just not sure what's going on with him on the mound right now. And you look at the fact that opposing teams are crushing his four-seam fastball. They're hitting .462 against it. His airbender changeup hitting .273 against that. Michael, I talked to pitching coach Matt Blake and asked him if his stuff looks the same. What's going on with him on the mound? And he said he's just not able to command that fastball, and you wonder how much that is really affecting the efficacy of the changeup. So he has some things to figure out, but Aaron Boone voicing his confidence that he will figure it out. And he said he is not the closer for now, but they still believe in Devin Williams.
He did use that 2-word phrase, Meredith, for now. It's not like he's lost his job for the rest of the season. They want to straighten him out because, hey, they had a really good closer in Luke Weaver, who was a closer for a team that went to a World Series. But they felt that they were going to build a super bullpen by picking up a guy like Devin Williams, who was just money for the last 3-4 years with Milwaukee. Base hit there for Bichette. Well, that was Barger pinch hitting for Bichette. So 1st and 2nd.
And if you break it down, I mean, you can go into the analytics, well, his fastball's down a mile, and you know, that doesn't bother me, but it's the location, and that all comes down to, you know, your release point and how the ball's leaving your hand. So that's probably, it could be a simple fix, or it could be something that you're just going to have to revamp yourself and figure out where you are to have that pinpoint control with your fastball.
Here's Will Wagner pinch hitting for Guerrero. So the Blue Jays obviously throwing up the white flag and giving as many regulars as they can the final 3 innings off, because there's another game to come.
Mike, we talked before the game. I was a big fan. I know it goes against what most people believe in the doubleheaders, back-to-back doubleheaders in the 7 innings. I mean, it would not affect this game whatsoever, right?
No, not this one. But if it was a 2-1 game.
Yeah, but you would feel the same urgency if you're on the other side. You know, if you're down, you've got to come back in 7 innings.
Ground ball. Chisholm. Runners move up.
You didn't like it, right, when we were doing the 7-inning doubleheaders?
It was such a weird year. That was the COVID year, so they didn't want players out there that long. listen, I'm a traditionalist, so
yeah.
I understand if you're playing, do you really want to play 18 innings in one day? I understand both sides of it. Here's Santander. That whole year, Paul, it seems like a fever dream to me. I mean, we sit here in the booth and the place is empty and you're doing games and you're on a little screen from your basement.
Did you say booth? I was in the basement.
You were in the basement.
Yes.
I'd be in this booth. David would be in the next booth. Meredith would be in the. We'd be separated by glass panels, and then you're in the TV screen like Max Headroom.
It was a weird time of life, wasn't it?
Yep. Strike three. Santander down looking. No runs. 2 hits and 2 men left on base. At the end of 6.5, it's time for the 7th inning stretch. Yankees lead this one 10-1, but we stay right here as they honor America in the Bronx.
Ladies and gentlemen, will you rise and remove your caps and please direct your attention to the area behind home plate as the New York Yankees welcome an honored military guest. United States Air Force Staff Sergeant Robert Markson from West Milford, New Jersey, who served in the Vietnam War. The Yankees say, thank you, Robert, for your sacrifice and service to our nation. And now, please join us in singing along with Robert Merrill's rendition of God Bless America.
Time for your Ford Studio update. Bob and Jack with you. That big 6-run third inning lifting the Yanks and Max Fried.
That inning was a thing of beauty for Aaron Boone and the Yankee coaching staff. You're taught to not help a pitcher out. And in that inning, Gausman was struggling. Bob, he threw 15 splitters. That's been his go-to pitch all season. 11 of them were balls. The Yankees didn't help him out. The big hit in that inning was from Wells. Yankees getting a ton from their 6, 7, 8, and 9 hitters today.
We'll break all that down. Fried and more on the Bridge Show. We'll see you then.
Thank you, Bob and Jack. 10-9 for the Yanks, 1-8 for the Blue Jays. Gausman lasted 2 2/3. Bo Bichette 2 for 3. Max Fried 6 strong. Austin Wells 3 ribbies, 2 doubles. And the Yankees lead this one 10-1. Josh Walker still in there. Turns Oswaldo Cabrera around to the right side. Pitch outside. So this is the new defensive alignment for the Jays. Knocked down by Walker, and it's going to be a base hit. So a base hit for Cabrera, his second of the game.
I think this fooled off the end of the bat. The ball didn't quite get there as quick as Walker thought it would, and it was not able to glove it.
But Cabrera got the first quickly.
Yeah. You see that ball go off the pitcher's glove. Boy, all of a sudden you get this shot of adrenaline like run, legs, run.
This could be 2. There's 1, and they double up Rice. Well, support America's military and first responder heroes. Donate $11 a month to the Tunnel to Towers Foundation at t2t.org. So it is DeMarlo Hale, who is the acting manager with Snyder thrown out. He takes the ball from Walker and goes to the pen. I tried to name that Yankee. This is considered one of the tougher ones. Those are the clues. An original Blue Jay. And Yankee fans of a certain age, this guy was a can't-miss prospect. Otto Velez.
Well, Otto, I'm sorry, but I had no clue today. Huh?
There he is. Nice graphics, by the way. And then he goes to the Blue Jays. Was a good player, but again, he was supposed to be just a superstar for the Yankees out of their system, and it didn't happen for him. But he had a pretty good run with Toronto, 11 big league seasons, 4 seasons with the Yanks. Selected by the Jays in the 76 expansion draft, 4 home runs in a doubleheader on May 4th of 1980. Tied an American League record held by 11 others. Pablo Reyes is pinch hitting for Aaron Judge as Dylan Tate takes over.
Otto the Swatto, I was hoping.
I've never heard that. That's a made up thing. I've never heard him called Otto the Swatto.
That's a bottom of the 7th, 10-1 game.
Pull that out like that. Stop it.
That's what that is.
Our producer's saying, well, that's what they say in Toronto. Well, they shouldn't have said it. Otto the Swatto. Not very often you get a palindrome player.
What?
Your name is spelled like O-T-T-O, and if you do it backwards, it's spelled the same.
I got to write that one down, too. That's another one I did not learn, too, today.
And Reyes pinch hitting for Judge. He is down looking. So no runs to hit and nobody left on base. We're going to talk about Otto the Swatto a little bit more, but probably during the commercial. Well, tomorrow, yes, the Bombers head to Camden Yards in Baltimore to kick off their first series of the season with the Orioles. Pre-game coverage starts at 6. Then David Cohn and Joe Girardi will join me in the booth with the first pitch set for 6:35 on Yes and the Gotham Sports app. It's a big series.
Oh, when you bring 3 of them in, huh? Joe Girardi breaking it all down. Coney.
Alan Roden came over.
Hopefully off his hamstring, it should be fine.
So some changes for the Yankees. Right back to De Los Santos. Roden is retired. 1 away. That'll bring up Alejandro Kirk. Not very often that catchers catch both ends of a doubleheader, so I don't think we'll see Wells and Kirk behind the plate.
Funny you said that. I read that in the notes. I think the last time Bob Guerin, I think, did it, what, like back in the 90s or something?
Yep.
Even before that, it was 1989.
Yankees were struggling in the years where Guerin got the majority of his time. And I think he said at one point, if the Yankees win 5 games in a row, he had a full head of hair. You guys could shave my head, but you got to give me $5 grand. And they somehow won 5 in a row. And on the plane ride to wherever we were going, he sat there and they shaved his head on the plane, and he got $5 grand.
And $5 grand for, I don't know, it's kind of in style now, but back
then it was.
Yeah, back then you did something wrong or lost a bet, one of the two.
Ripped into a right center field. It's a base hit. Cut off by Reyes. And that's a nice play by Reyes as he holds Kirk to a single. I just remember that after that was done, Paul. I mean, that was a team of young players or, borderline players. Everybody was volunteering to shave their head for $5 grand. Tyler Matzik getting ready for his Yankee debut. That one is ripped to right field. Coming on, Reyes. He makes the play for out number 2.
Wow, he made that look easy, too. That was a sinking line drive. That's a really nice play. It's windy out there today, too, so reading the ball, he kind of grabs it easily. That's a tough play. When you break it all down, sinking line drive, wind, haven't been out there all day. Consecutive really nice plays out there in right field.
Here's Ernie Clement. Another try. This one seems like it's much easier. And Reyes puts it away for the final out. Blue Jay strand one. We go to the bottom of the 8th. It's time for the Optimum Don't Take Slow for an Answer replay.
Wow, double off the wall. And Bellinger, you know what? He's not slow. He can run. He's going to get that extra run score.
Hyundai scoreboard 10-1 as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Tate deals upstairs. Bellinger 0 for 2, a sac fly, a walk, and a run scored. Ripped and passed. Walker down the right field line. And Bellinger is off to the races. He's going to stop at second with the double. Hey, come celebrate Star Wars Day at Yankee Stadium. That's on Sunday, May 4th. There'll be appearances by your favorite Star Wars characters, and the first 18,000 guests in attendance receive a Giancarlo Stanton Jedi bobblehead. Tickets are going fast, so get your tickets today at Yankees.com, and may the 4th be with you. Here's Paul Goldschmidt. Game 2, it's going to be Chris Bassett, who's having a great year for Toronto against Clark Schmidt.
Yeah, Clark Schmidt trying to bounce back from his last outing. And if you break him down, it's all about trying to get the lefties out the way he did before the injury last year.
Up the middle and a base hit for Goldschmidt. And Bellinger will stop at third.
Yeah, this is where 10-1, you don't take any chances. You hold him up at third base. But again, that's not a bad pitch. Ball running in on his hands. Goldschmidt stays through it, lines are right back up the middle.
Jazz Chisholm Jr. 1 for 3. Walked with the bases loaded, so he picked up a ribby, has a run scored. Tate's much better against right-handed hitters than lefties. Lefties OPS against him 792. Righty 623. Actually, a Yankee for a while. Traded from Texas to the Yankees on August 1st, 2016 for Carlos Beltran. Tate and Eric Swanson came to the Bronx. Has spent the majority of his career with Baltimore. This is his 6th big league season. He's 30 years old. Turns 31 next Thursday. Grounded to first. There's one. The ball is dropped. Everybody safe. Scoring is Bellinger, and the Yankees lead 11-1.
Boy, elected to go to second base. It's a long throw. Kind of right off the heel of the glove. These are the kind of plays you start seeing late in a game where basically the game's already been decided with the 10-1 score.
You would think that's got to be an E6. That was right in the glove of Clement. Fielder's choice and an E6. Chisholm does pick up a ribby. Peraza hitting in Volpe's spot. Volpe had a nice day. 2 for 3, a double, a home run. Bases loaded, walk. And Peraza goes down on strikes. Time for the Audi electric moment. Experience a fully electric Audi vehicle at your local Tri-State Audi dealer today.
Well, let's go back to the 5th inning. Anthony Volpe, a no-doubter, going the other way, his 5th of the year. Out of the game now, but I'm sure because of that, they'll probably be in game 2.
Here's Wells. And a strike. One and one. Wells a couple of doubles today. You know, his numbers coming in, hitting an even 200, but all of the important numbers, you know, the under the hood numbers that they talk about, hard hit rate, exit velocity, all of those things were very, very good. So they think they're going to start to see more of the Wells that they expect offensively. Catch is made by Clase for the second out.
Yeah, you see these fly balls, and we haven't talked about it much, but I mean, the wind is howling out there if you look at the flags, and the plays have not been easy in the outfield today.
There's Jason Dominguez 0 for 2 with 2 walks.
We got time to run to Arthur Avenue between games, Michael. A little Italian food.
That one is a fly ball to right field. Gordon puts it away. I think you can.
Then we'll get a head start. You ready?
There's some chick porn. Yankees baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by Nissan. At Nissan, we make cars that thrill. Experience the thrill for yourself today. Shop NissanUSA.com. By Mohegan Sun, something's always happening at Mohegan. And by your local Kia dealers. Visit Kia.com to discover movement that inspires. And there's a sign we talked about. Derek Jeter touched that sign every time he went to the field. Well, fans, stay tuned after the final out for today's W.B. Mason Yankees postgame as our studio team recaps Game 1 and sets the table for Game 2. It's all coming up next on Yes and the Gotham Sports app. Well, this is a pretty inspiring story as Ben Rice takes over behind the plate. As the Yankees bring in Tyler Matzik, 34 years old, signed a minor league deal with the Yankees on February 11th, but a right oblique strain in camp certainly set him back. Yankees loved what they saw in spring training. This guy was a World Series champion with the Braves in 2021 and a postseason hero throughout that run. Had a 1.72 ERA while pitching in 13 of the 16 playoff games. But here's the inspiring part. He had the yips. The yips are where he doesn't know where the ball's going. Steve Blass had it. Chuck Knobloch had it. Steve Sachs had it. Rick Ankiel had it. Well, you just can't do the most basic thing. So he was out of the majors from 2015, and he made Atlanta's opening day roster in 2020. And actually has pitched very well. He had Tommy John surgery in October of 2022. And since that time, he's only pitched in 11 major league games since. But the Yankees took a flyer on him, and he was throwing hard in spring training. And I think he's going to be a big part of this bullpen.
I'm just watching Ben Rice. This is his first game behind the plate this year. He had 1 inning there last year. But, I mean, they've talked about he's a good defensive catcher, huh?
They like him defensively. Yes, he does a good job as Clase goes down on strikes. Well, let's check out the T-Mobile coverage cam, and we had on the umpires throwing people out today, Paul.
Well, there was an unhappy pitcher, and then a manager trying to question the strike zone.
Watch the step.
Uh-oh.
And then John Schneider got tossed.
I was ready for him to grab the dirt and start throwing it on the plate. Get your money's worth.
Miles Straw wraps one to left field, going back Dominguez, and it's off his glove. He'll play it off the wall. Straw heads to second with a double. So Miles Straw with 3 hits today.
Dominguez got to this ball, which was a great break and a great jump. Did not glove it. It was not an easy play. So don't start questioning that he can't play left field. This ball was hit hard. Don't know that I've ever seen a purple glove. You?
I can't recall. Here's Addison Barger. 1-0. Barger pinch hit for Bichette in the 7th. Picked up a single. Toronto does have 10 hits, but just 1 run. That came in the 1st inning. Yankees have 12 hits and 11 runs. This is a strike. So unless something goes kablooey here, Max Fried will go to 5-0. And the Yankees will go to 6-0 in his 6 starts. One. Center field. And that's going to be over the head of Bellinger as it goes to the wall. Miles Straw will score, and Barger picks up an RBI double.
I tell you what, you see the outfielders. It's been a tough day, and with the wind out there in the outfield. Ball hit hard, and Bellinger, we talked about it defensively. Everywhere you put him, he's good. It just beat him to a spot. And the wind can carry it, can knock it down, and as an outfielder, just cause a lot of problems.
11-2 Yankees. Here's Will Wagner. See him at 95 miles an hour. That's so encouraging for the Yankees that fastball's there with his feel for pitching. I think he could really be a plus out of the pen. First action of the year. Count 3-0. And he walks him on 4 pitches. Let's check out the upcoming schedule brought to you by your local Tri-State Buick dealers. A game is coming up. After this one, we're in a doubleheader. It'll be right here on Yes. Then the Yankees head to the road. 3 games in Baltimore. Wednesday is on Prime. All the games start at 6:35. Back home, though, 3 against Tampa Bay and 3 against San Diego before they head out west. And Game 2 begins approximately 30 minutes after the final pitch of this one. Here's Santander. And a strike. High fly ball, left field. Dominguez makes the play. Tagging is Barger. He'll go to third. And Toronto's down to its final out.
I want to give an interesting fact note here, Mike.
Okay.
Now, by Ben Rice going in to catch,
right,
taking a big gamble here, you know. Because if the Blue Jays score 10 in the ninth, then the pitcher has to bat in Wells' spot. I just wanted to let you know that.
Because they surrendered the DH by having the DH go back into the field. Well, it looks like that's not going to happen. Cabrera makes the call, and the Yankees win the game 11-2. First game of this doubleheader. Another good outing by Max Fried. The Yankees got to Kevin Gausman. Gausman came into the game with a 3.16 ERA, but gave up 6 runs in that third inning, and the Yankees never looked back.
No, and I think Max Fried got off to a start where he was like going to, really try to find it. Well, he found it, and the Yankees offense helped him find it by just throwing up a boatload of runs. But good way to start the day when you're playing 2. Half an hour from what you want, Michael? Chicken parm?
Yeah, forget that.
I'll run down the street. Don't worry about it.
Appreciate it. Yankees 11-2. We come back with awards, and then Bob and Jack have some work to do in the studio.